What is going on? Welcome to another Saturday live stream. My name is Nick, and you are watching Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, hang out with other content creators in the chat, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today we are going to be talking about YouTube, how to grow your channel, how to get views, all of that. Plus, we're going to be doing a lot of hangout, a lot of just interactive, fun stuff like we do here every single Saturday. So welcome to the live stream. Welcome to another Saturday. I also want to let you know that this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators. You can see what TubeBuddy can do for you through the link at the very top of the chat. If you've had an awesome week, if you put out a video this week, give me a hashtag yes, just so I know that that you're out there grinding it out. I also want to let you know that I have a link down in the description of this video where you can put your questions. So if you have a question that you want answered about what it is that you're doing on YouTube, go ahead and put it down in the forum in the description right now, because I answer those in the order that they come in. So make sure that you get your question down there so that I can answer your question here on the show. So right now, we literally have one question in there. So get in there right now. Get in there and get your question in there. If you have a question about what it is that you're doing on YouTube. Don't ask me to look at the channel because I'm not doing that at this point in time, but definitely go and put your question in there. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be here today. Excited to be talking about YouTube, helping people with their YouTube channels, all of that good stuff. Hope you guys are having an awesome day as well. So I'm putting out the link here in just a little bit. I'm putting out the link as well for some other people to come in and join the chat if they decide to throughout the stream. Excuse me. So we might end up having some special guests come on. I'm not sure because it's kind of, there's no obligation there, but I just have the link out there and then sometimes people come in. So because of that, we might have some other content creators that you watch on a regular basis swing into the stream here as well. And again, since we're doing Q&A here, we're doing question and answers about what it is that you want to know about YouTube, make sure that you put your question in the form that's down in the description below, okay? And if you haven't yet, go ahead and share this out on Twitter. Let everybody know that we're live so we can get some more content creators in here to get their YouTube questions answered as well. So our very first question comes from Walt Disney World and Sea Parks with Barry. And they say, let's see, they're a theme park vlogger, and they say that they do this for fun. I'm going to turn this down here just a little bit. There we go. They say they do this for fun and to share info on a few of Central Florida's theme parks. They say, hey, Nick, since I'm a theme park vlogger and the parks are closed, is there anything I should be doing with my channel, like resharing on other platforms or reworking on thumbnails or titles or wherever else while waiting for the parks to reopen? Absolutely. So when it comes to like thumbnails and testing your thumbnails and just researching different ways to make content, experimenting with putting your videos together with all the footage that you have, you can absolutely go and do that because it's something that you should be doing on a regular basis anyway in terms of, hey, I'm going to test my thumbnails. So you should absolutely be doing that. In addition to that, other things that you can do is you have a bunch of content, right? If you've been uploading to your YouTube channel, you have a bunch of content. So even if you make content right now that you can't go outside and create, let's say that you're doing sports content, let's say that you are doing theme park content or anything that you have to go outside to like an event in order to, or a popular location in order to do it. Anything like that, you can actually start making kind of remix type content with your videos. So like, let's say that you have one to where it's you, at the theme park, right? Let's just do this to you specific. If it's you at the theme park, then in that situation, what you can do is you can say, hey, instead of us going through our day at the theme park, now I'm going to take my 5 favorite moments for these particular things that we did at the theme park. And I'm going to put out that video and start looking for things like that you repeat through videos that you can start pulling content out of so that you can start doing like best ofs and things like that and start putting some compilation videos together so that you can also put out some fresh content for your viewers as well. And another thing too, just to think about in this situation is when you're doing remix type content like that, the first thing that people think is like, oh, well, I can't do that because people have seen my videos. They might think that I'm, trying to just put out empty content or whatever, but that's not the case, right? So in a lot of cases, okay, right now, and I know what you're probably going to say, but be honest, give me a hashtag yes or no if you've watched every single video on my YouTube channel. And I know it's going to be a bunch of no's, right? So don't say yes just for the sake of being supportive, trying to prove a point here. But I know the answer is no. I know that not everybody watches all the videos on my channels, especially if you are new to subscribing to my YouTube channel. There's a really good chance you haven't watched all of that old content that I have. So because of that, it's okay for me to repeat things from time to time because I know that everybody that comes in over the course of this month hasn't watched all the content that I made last month, and they haven't even watched all the content that I've made this month. So because of that, that opens you up in the same exact scenario to where you can say, hey, I have people that have come into my YouTube channel, but I guarantee they haven't watched all of your videos. Some people have, but most people haven't. Good, a lot of no's in here. Yeah, so go back and watch some of that content. Go watch some of the older content. Come on, what are you guys doing? That was a trick. That was a trick. Why aren't you watching my old videos? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Okay. Yeah, 10 things. Oh, yeah, that's another one. Great example there. Eric Wade has another one to where you could do list type things to kind of prep people for going to theme parks. Top 10 things to do before you visit a theme park. Excellent idea there, to where you literally just sit in front of a camera. Maybe you use your theme park footage as B-roll, things like that. And you talk about things that, people should prepare for. 5 things that you need to take with you to a theme park, that sort of thing. So yeah, absolutely. You have the opportunity to continue making content, or at least to repackage your content and or experiment with the thumbnails and things like that you have to see if you can get any additional traction as well. So next up, hopefully that you found that helpful. Next up is from Misty, is the next question here. Misty does gaming channel. The goal is to become famous. I love that you're owning that, because most people are like, oh, well, it's good that you're owning that if you're wanting to be famous. The question is, what's the best ways to promote your videos on other social media? The best way to promote your videos on other social media is to get good at getting people to react to your content on YouTube. And the reason for that is because if you're out there and you're spending all of your time sharing your content all over the place, if you focus all that energy on making good content on YouTube, then other people are going to be sharing your content all over the place, right? So one, you're going to get people to respond to you that are already on YouTube, expecting to watch video content, that have dedicated the time to say, hey, I'm going to hop on YouTube. I'm on my phone. I'm going to see if I can check out some videos here. But you're able to tap into those people that are already on YouTube, ready to watch videos right now. And you start building up those people as as your channel grows, that will start sharing your content out for you organically. So because of that, making sure that you're making an excellent product, so to speak, or video for the people that are coming to your channel, that's the best way to really get some solid traction. Now, with that said, depending on the type of content that you make, if you're doing content that is helping people in some way, or that is tapping into like pop culture in some way, like let's say, for example, that you're covering recent movies and you're doing animations about them or something like that. A good example that I like to give is there was this guy on Reddit that made 10 videos, posted all of them on Reddit, and was basically going through the process as Marvel was releasing the video or their movies. And basically out of 10 videos, he grew 200 and something thousand subscribers on his YouTube channel, because he was basically timing his releases of just awesome animations, timing his releases to when when Marvel was releasing their movies, and the activity around the topic of those particular movies were high, and the interest around those topics were high. And because of that, when he shared his content on Reddit, it was welcomed with open arms, because that's what people were into. He wasn't just stopping by, spamming a video and heading out of there. He was waiting for that right moment to actually share his content there, and he shared it in the right place. That's what you should be doing if you are doing animations too. I saw you there, Shroom 2020. So real quick, I just want to hop into the chat here really fast. Beanie Draws, what's up, dude? Doug Houston, nice to see you in here. Vigard, nice to see you here as well. Hope you guys are doing great. Apple O, nice to see you. The Relationship Life with Steven, what's up, dude? Welcome to the live stream again. Nice to see you. Cashflow Karma says, man, I wish you did this multiple times per week. I love this. Glad that you're enjoying it. Glad that you are that you're having a good time here in the stream. Yeah, how to save money at a theme park is another one from Eric Wait. What's up, Eric, man? Nice to see you. Let's see here. We've got KidTube. That one kind of went away. Thinkerman Mick says, hey, got a question in on Twitter. I hope I did that right. No, the question actually happens through the description down below in the form down there. What percentage have you watched? Not sure what that means. Hello, good morning to Dragon Value Home. What's up? Nice to see you in here as well. Planner Craving with Sandy. welcome to the live stream also. I hope everybody's just doing awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to get into another question here. Just as a reminder, if you're just joining us, what I'm doing is I'm answering your specific questions about YouTube, things that you want to know about YouTube, your channel, the type of content you make, that kind of thing. So if you have a question about what it is that you're doing, make sure that you go ahead and you put it in the form down in the description below. So basically, if you open up the description right now, if you're on your phone, you might have to click the little down arrow in order to do it, but you just open up the description down below. And when you do that, you are going to see a bunch of stuff down there. All of it is useful for content creators, so everybody should be checking out the video description. But in order to get your question, you go down and you look for, one that says like, get your questions asked here or something like that, or answered here might be the phrasing for it. Harrison Family Vlogs says, appreciate you sharing your knowledge with us. Harrison Vlogs, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate you being a content creator and putting your thoughts and your creativity out there into the world. You keep that up. And with the knowledge and the information that's shared, please apply. For everybody that watches this, please apply it, because knowledge without application doesn't do much. So, so apply, take some information, go and apply it, come back in, a couple weeks after you've worked on that thing really hard, and then, pick up something else and then apply that, and basically keep that process going for continual improvement. Let's see here. Robo Hobo Productions, I love the name, says, is doing a face reveal / a name reveal. Is doing a face reveal equal a name reveal as well? Not necessarily. I mean, kinda. If somebody knew you, then in that situation, they would know your name, as part of it. But, doing a face reveal, it's kind of a thing on YouTube. Some people that make videos without showing their face, they kind of build up to this big, hey, after I get 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to, do a face reveal, that kind of thing. So, it's definitely a thing here. So definitely feel free to do that. Creator Fundamentals in the house. What's up, Dan? Nice to see you here. Hope that you're doing awesome. Chris, thanks for the super chat. Chris says, Nick, I asked you if I should go live with under 1,000 subs. You said, yes, I listened. I got more subs and I averaged 3 to 4 people per live. Thanks. Awesome. Heading in the right direction. So, Chris, just as a heads up, I'm not sure if you're listening to the podcast or not. I'm going to link to it down below, but it's called Comments Over Coffee. You can look for it on your, it's in the podcast, Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all that. But it's called Comments Over Coffee. I just put out an episode on things you should know about live streaming. So if you're just getting into the live streaming thing, definitely go and listen to that episode. It's long. It's really long. I talk about my live streaming journey and what kind of got me hooked on it. And then I also give a bunch of tips in there on things that you should be mindful of when you are live streaming onto YouTube or really any platform. So so definitely check that out. But it's a long one. Typically those episodes are like 10 minutes. This one I think is like 10 to 15. But this one is like I think almost 40 minutes long. So a lot of really good info in there. Hey, what's up? Maximum Kali Suri. Nice to see you in here. Steve McDonald Arts and Crafts says, applying your knowledge, Nick, has made a big difference to my channel in the last 2 months. Love to hear it. Chains. Yo, what's up? Nice to see you in here. Hope you are doing well also. Okay, next question that we have here on the list, since we got Misty taken care of, is Andrew. Andrew says that they upload when they have time. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. Gaming content, and the goal of the channel is entertainment. Says, how do I revive an inactive channel? Just start putting out content. Start putting out content, because start putting out content and make sure that you have discovery in mind. And what I mean by discovery, if you're not familiar with that phrasing, Facts About Cats. What's up? Nice to see you in here. If you are putting out content, you got to find a way to get it in front of people. The best way to do that, of course, is on YouTube itself, by tapping into their features, by making sure that you're making titles that people respond to, and that you're making thumbnails that people respond to, and that you're making video content that people enjoy. If you do those 3 things, then all the other stuff will just happen naturally. But the best thing that you can do to get a channel going again is to just continue making the content that was initially getting the response in the first place. So if you're getting any kind of response at all, then start making that type of content or better, and make sure that you're writing good titles, thumbnails, paying really close attention to your stats to make sure people are enjoying the content as well. That's how you are going to that's how you're going to revive. That's how you're going to revive the channel. Vince Adrian Zuberi, hope I'm saying that right, says they upload once per week or more. Been on YouTube for less than a year. It's a challenges channel. The goal of the channel is to make moolah. They want to make it rain. That's what I'm talking about. Says, is there any specific format on making amazing content videos? Absolutely there is, and it's going to be specific to your audience. So one thing that you always hear me talking about, I'm just constantly, I talk about it so much that in my comment section, people are like, Nick, you've told us about audience retention like 1,000,000 times, right? And in live streams, people, Nick, you told me about audience retention 1,000,000 times. The reason I do that is because, one, I know everybody hasn't watched all my videos. 2, is because I know that if you're asking about how to make amazing content, then that means that you're probably not looking in your stats and paying close attention to your audience retention. And if you're not paying close attention to your audience retention, then you're not tapping into the data, the information, the proven information of how people are responding to your content, so that you can take that information and then you can apply it to each additional video you upload, and then look at how people responded to that one, make adjustments, apply it to the next video that you upload. Now, when you are doing this, when you are looking in your audience retention, some things that you got to keep in mind. One, be mindful of intros, things like that. Be mindful of anything where you see the bar kind of go down like this, right? To where it looks like they're to where they're watching and then it kind of dips and then they come back up on the other side, because that means people are skipping past those parts. So you want to take notes of that. Literally get a notebook or get like a spreadsheet or something and start keeping track of this stuff. Another thing you're going to notice in a lot of cases is right when your video starts, there might be a drop or a significant drop right when your video starts. So you want to always pay attention to that and try to theorize on why. You want to look at the end of your video and you want to be like, okay, where are people leaving in the end of my video? How far, if I'm making a 10-minute video, are people even watching to 5 minutes? Are people watching to 9 minutes? Like how long are people watching my videos? But your audience retention reports are going to show you all of that stuff so that you can use that information, that data that's given to you by YouTube on how the masses are responding to your content, not your friends, not your mom, not you, how people that are just flooding into your channel or coming into your channel one at a time, how they are responding to the content that you're putting out there. So you gotta be able to use your audience retention reports to make those decisions. And when you do that, you're gonna be able to fine tune your content so that you can make it in a way that people respond to. But one thing I'm gonna tell you is that sometimes you get it wrong. Sometimes you're putting your video together and like everything, in your mind, you're like, okay, when I do this, it typically works. When I do this, it typically works. When I do this, it typically works. And it just doesn't work the way that you thought. So you got to take that for what it is, use your stats again and be like, okay, where did I mess up? Because it didn't work this time. So where did I mess up and why do I think it didn't work? And then you make theories on why you think that it didn't work or why you think things do work. And then you apply those to additional videos that you upload so you can get some real information back on how people respond to those as well. Okay, so hopefully that helped. All right, next up on our list, we've got, let's see here. Another thing I want to say, if you are just joining us here, because we just had a little bit of a surge, if you're just joining the live stream, I want to let you know that I'm answering your YouTube questions there's a form down in the description below. It's free. You just go down there, you put in your question, and then basically as I get to the questions, I go through them like the one I just answered, and then we move on to another question. So if you have a question about what it is that you're doing on YouTube, make sure you put it in the form down below this video. And again, it's totally free. Brought to you by the show sponsor, TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators. You can actually find it pinned to the very top of the chat also. So, if you want to try TubeBuddy, which you should, you can install it there. Toxic Storm says that they've been on YouTube for less than a month. They upload content every other day, gaming content, and they're doing it just for fun. Says, what do you think I'm doing wrong on my channel because I'm not growing? Okay, so I'm not going to look at the channel, but if you are not growing, that means people aren't clicking on what it is that you're doing, which means, okay, let me explain this a little bit. So there's kind of like a chain that happens on YouTube, right? A chain of events. And how it works is if YouTube shows your content to somebody on the platform based on, and that means that your thumbnail and your title, that's the very first step, right? So when YouTube shows your content to somebody on the platform, they show people your thumbnail and title. Based on how they respond to that is going to determine if they show it again, right? But it's being sampled a bunch of times at once, but that's going to determine if it gets showed again. And another part of that chain is, well, I won't say that just that is going to determine, because that's part of it. But if nobody's clicking, then quickly YouTube's going to demote that video. So that's the very first step. The next thing that they do is they come into your actual video, right? Because you click, you go and you actually watch the video. So the next part of that chain is they are coming in and they are experiencing the content that you're putting out there. So they are responding to the videos that you're making. So they're watching your intros. Can you get them past your intro? Can you get them into the actual body of the content? Can you get them to interact with what it is that you're doing? Can you get them to further engage? How long can you get people to watch? YouTube looks at how long you get people to watch on your YouTube channel. They look at that as like a response, right? It's a quality indicator, and they basically are gauging, hey, are people satisfied with this content or not, based on how much people are clicking and then how long they watch after that. Now, a reason that they do this, and it's important, is because if you make crazy thumbnails and titles, clickbaity stuff, people click on it, but then they bail as soon as they get into your video because they realize, wait a minute, this isn't what I expected it to be. Then YouTube is going to identify that one immediately as this is a video that people are not satisfied watching. This is a video that is low satisfaction. Therefore, we're not going to continue to show it to people on the platform. But if you can get people to click and then you get people to watch, then in that case, it's like, hey, people are clicking on it and then they're watching for a fair amount of time. So quality on the click on the thumbnail and the title, it's working. You're getting people to respond. And by quality, I don't mean it's pretty. I don't mean that it's got letters in the thumbnail. I don't mean that it has, necessarily a face in the thumbnail. What I mean is that people are responding to it, right? Whatever it is, it can be ugly, doesn't matter. But if people are clicking on your thumbnail and title, that's the very first step. And then they come in and they start watching the video, which is the second. And then after they're watching the video, then you want to try to get them to engage. Because then if you can get them to further engage, leaving a comment, liking the video, disliking the video, adding it to a watch later playlist, sharing the video, whatever it happens to be, then all of these little things that people are doing, clicking, watching, commenting, giving it a thumbs up, give this a thumbs up if you're enjoying it so far, by the way, sharing it, adding it to playlists, things like that, those tell YouTube people are into this piece of content. And the better you get at getting people to click, watch, and engage in what it is that you're doing and interact through commenting and liking and all that stuff, the better you get at those things, the higher quality your video is deemed in terms of, hey, people are interacting with this. They're satisfied when they watch this content. They're clicking on it a lot. The better you get at those things, the more YouTube is going to show the content that you're putting out there to the audience that's right for them, okay? That they're going to present it and make it possible for them to watch. So because of that, it's really important to keep that in mind in terms of if you're not growing. Now, another thing I'm going to talk about is if you are getting people clicking and you're getting people watching, but you're not growing in terms of your subscriber count, then what that means is typically the masses aren't finding clear value in what it is that you're offering. Maybe they're coming in, maybe they're watching the content, maybe they're enjoying the content, but they're just not getting enough out of that content in order to make that decision like, oh yeah, I want to subscribe and come back to this. I want to watch this. I want to be a part of what's going on this channel. I want to check this out on a regular basis for whatever reason. So because of that, you have to make sure that you're getting that chain of response and that people are getting something out of the content that you're putting out. Because if the content that you're putting out is something to where people are not getting something in return in terms of any way that they interpret value, you're making them laugh, you're helping them escape from being stuck inside, right? You're helping them, just have that escapism, just sitting there being plugged into YouTube because they're stuck inside. You're helping them like learn something. You're challenging them so that they're like, hey, I don't like the way that this person thinks about this. So because of that, I'm going to subscribe just so I can come in here and argue with them in the comments all the time. Right. But you're challenging them and that's what they're getting out of it because they dig that for whatever reason. You are, motivating people. If I didn't do that one yet, you're showing people how to do stuff. So they're learning things. You're inspiring people, all that stuff. People got to get something. People got to get something out of it in order to reward you with a subscribe. Next up on the list, we got the football school. Football school uploads every other day. It's a lot of uploads, football school. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. Channel, football, goal to gain 1 million subs. Question, how do you grow sports channel? So right now, I'd be trying to do like compilation videos and things like that, best of moments. In terms of a sports channel, I'm not really sure exactly what type of sports channel you have. If you have a sports channel where you're teaching people how to do stuff, you just keep doing that. If you are doing a sports channel where it's like highlights and that sort of thing, then in that situation, then what I would try to do is any of the popular games, once all of this stuff gets, I won't say back to normal, but once it gets to, a place where sports are happening again, then in that situation, like anytime there's an event coming up or anytime there's a game coming up, I would start making videos around that because the interest in that game in that moment is higher in those particular times. And I would only put out content if it was something that had a high interest at that time. Walter's World says, hey, what's up, dude? Nice to see you in here. Says, also know that it takes time to grow your channel. It takes a time and a grind. Stick with it, though. Absolutely. Yeah, it can take a lot of time. Depending. You'll see some people come on to YouTube and just blow up. Those don't happen a lot, but they do happen. And then you'll see the rest of us that just grind it out, like Walter's talking about, day in, day out, just grinding it out for a long period of time. And then by the time you come onto somebody's radar, they think you know, like, oh wow, they're you know, like a sizable channel, but they don't see, you know, the 5 years of work that you've put into the back end of it. Gallivanting Gals, thanks for the super chat. Says, Nick, I want to try Streamlabs OBS, and I wondered if your overlays for OBS work for slobs, if starting clean, and I see you're using StreamYard now, pros and cons. The reason that I'm using StreamYards now is for the streams is, one, we're not doing it in the live studio, so I'm not doing multiple cameras and stuff. Two is I'm doing a new thing right now to where I am bringing guests in. So I'm making it possible for other people to join the streams as well. And because of that, which I'm actually going to put that link in here right now. I'm glad you mentioned that. But because of that, I'm using StreamYard because it's easy to bring people in. That's the reason. And it's just easy interface, all that good stuff. Streamlabs OBS, yes. So I just loaded into the Tuber Tools membership area. If you're a member over there, I just loaded a pack in there that includes an actual overlay file. So with the overlay file, and most of the ones that are going in there now are going to be like this for Streamlabs specifically. But with the overlay file, when you import that into Streamlabs, it brings everything in, goes ahead and organizes everything into different scenes and all that stuff. All pre-built, and then you just have to go in and plug in where your camera is, and you know, put any screens in the background and that kind of thing, if that's the kind of thing that you're doing. But the one I just updated is more of like a gaming type of vibe to it. So if you're not doing gaming content, you might want to wait until I think it's like Tuesday or Wednesday. We have more you know, like professional type stuff going in there too. But we're getting ready to dump a ton of live streaming stuff in there. Been having live streaming stuff built forever. Design of the Nines, what's up? Nice to see you in here. Yeah, it's evening for me, of course. Let's see here. George Fontan says, hey, Nick, it seems I rank #1 in search for concrete house. It still gets very little traffic. Any thoughts on getting more views on super niche topic, or does it max out on potential audience? It does match out on potential audience. But what you might want to look for is if you're doing like concrete house content. I know one thing that has worked well for you know, for other people. Somebody that's actually in the community, she might even be in here now, like Christina Smallhorn, for example, is going after like trending type of stuff. You might want to try that approach in terms of if you are talking about architecture, which I think is your jam. If you're talking about architecture and things like that, still kind of framing it around like hot topics in architecture or in the construction world right now for that. But when you're doing concrete house, yeah, like if you're #1, make sure that you're #1 for your view. And if you're not actually logged into YouTube, just open up an incognito window and make sure that it's not just being catered to you for that. Make sure that you're still there in incognito. Now, even in incognito, all of those results are going to change a little bit. Some will be inserted into there based on, you know, the user histories of the people that are looking for those search results. However, it'll give you a good indicator like, hey, am I in the top of these search results somewhere? And if concrete house isn't getting a lot of traffic, then it's not getting a lot of traffic, right? So because of that in that situation, you are kind of maxing out on potential audience if that's the case. So what I would do in that situation is I would start using the keyword explorer from TubeBuddy, and I would start looking for things that have a higher search volume so that you can try to go in there. But it's okay. I do want to say that it's perfectly okay to rank videos for smaller things like that are going to create, you know, consistent traffic coming in, so that you can have that consistent traffic that will help you get more data on your videos when you publish, so that you can quickly try to rank and maintain in harder search terms. For harder search terms. 4-ounce fight fan says, I recently started an MMA fan channel. When you first started, how did you set aside the doubt and push forward? Wow. That's a great question. That's a really, really good question. So, so when I first started, I actually have a whole video. The very first video on my channel is about how to overcome camera shyness. And I actually talk about some of the things that I went through. And I made that video because I was like, okay, what's the problem that I'm having? Okay, well, I don't want to be on camera. So, okay, let's make a video about how to be on camera and talk about all the things that I had to go through within myself in order to have the courage to actually go on camera. And I almost didn't do it. Could you imagine? I almost didn't go on camera. But anyway, so basically when it came to saying, yeah, I'm going to go for it on YouTube, my process was, I was like, okay, I was looking for a solution at the time to move out of the business that I was in at that time. And I was like, okay, YouTube kept coming into my mind and I resisted the whole thing. And this is like the quick version, but YouTube kept coming into my mind and I resisted the whole thing and I kept resisting and I kept resisting. Finally, I was like, okay, I'll do it and see how it goes. And I made that very first video on how to overcome camera shyness. But some of the things that I was dealing with was, what if a friend sees it? What if my brother sees it, because he'll give me a hard time. Oh, you're on YouTube now? Way to go. You're on YouTube? How's that working out for you? Oh, you're a YouTuber? What are you, 12? Right? Like, that's the kind of stuff I was waiting for, but it didn't happen. Let's see here. What else? What if it didn't work? What if I put in all this effort and it didn't work? What if, let's see here. What if I put it out there, somebody that I know saw it and they like gave me a hard time, about it? What if the comments were rude? What if people gave me a hard time there? Like that sort of thing. Those are the kinds of things that I was dealing with at the time. And in order to get over it, I used some crutches. So for me, I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, then I will add some kind of value, because I've always understood that concept of just like, you know, if you add value of some kind, then, you know, people will respond to that. Some people will respond positively, but I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, let's add some value to it. I'll talk about a problem that I had, which is not wanting to be on camera. And how I overcame it. So I'll make that video. But if I'm going to do this, I'm also going to make it look good, because then I'm going to, you know, take down that worry. I'm going to make it sound good. I'm going to write a script. I was doing scripts at the time, which I don't do anymore, but I was writing scripts at the time because I was like, okay, in order to say this in a way that I'm comfortable with, and this was the crutch that I was talking about, in order to say this in a way that I'm comfortable with, I'm going to write a script to make sure that I'm saying things the right way and that I don't sound like an idiot. And, you know, because of that, I ended up writing scripts, which made me really robotic. I even wore makeup in that first video to get over some of the hurdles of like, hey, am I too old for YouTube? I've got like these circles under my eyes, right? At that time, I didn't have as much gray, but, you know, I had like a little bit of gray here in my beard. And I was like, I got a little bit of gray in my beard. Like, you know, like, let me at least cover up some of these skin blemishes and stuff. So that I look a little bit younger, and all that. And I basically did all of that. And in retrospect, it was complete overkill. And I wasted tons of time going through all that. Now, I will say that, you know, making sure that I had good audio, good video, that part was a win. But in terms of everything else, it was all insecurity. That was it. And in order to get through that, I had to have my own personal crutches, which were like makeup and writing scripts, that kind of stuff. But then I also had to practice. I just had to keep putting videos out. And what's funny is some of the fears that I had, and I mentioned this in that first video, some of the fears I had, and I saw some of these super chats come in and the channel membership, and I'll address these right here as soon as I'm done with this. But like the one of the things that I mentioned in that very first video is I was like, it's something along the lines of, it was like, you know, like right now, you know, you're putting the videos out and you're worried about what it is that people think, and people might give you a hard time, but eventually making YouTube videos is just going to be something that you do, right? To where it'll be normal for everybody. And it's like, oh yeah, well, he also has a YouTube channel. What's cool is in my situation, not only was one of my fears was like, oh, my brother's going to see this. He's just going to bust on me like forever about this. And I was like, he's going to give me a hard time. And I didn't show it to him for a while. I had like a nice amount of videos up before I even showed it to him. But when I showed it to him, he was like, wow, man, this is really good. And he actually, like, you know, he gave me props on it. And now, for those of you that don't know, D, my brother, now he has a YouTube channel, and he is also, you know, he is also doing YouTube. So, you know, the whole thing, and the thing that I was actually afraid of ended up being something that he was also into, and ended up, like, you know, joining me on the platform. So, so what I recommend to you is take the risk. If it's something that you really want to do, take the risk. And the reason that it's important to take the risk, if it's something that you really, really want to do, is because you don't know where that road's going to lead. And if you don't take that risk, and you're not, if in your brain, if you're like, man, I really want to do this, this is something that I really, really want to do, take the risk, give it a shot, give it some time to work. Because like Walter was saying before, Walter's World was saying before, you know, it can take time. So make sure you give it time, but pursue it at least for a while so that you can give it a shot. Because if you don't, you never know what's going to happen, right? Like for me, YouTube has completely changed everything about everything that I do. It's impacted, you know, my brother as well, other people in my life that I've helped with their channels. And like, it can really, you know, like the path can be amazing, right? And if you don't take it, if you don't at least try, if it's something that you're really, really, really wanting to do, if you don't at least try, you're never going to know how it could have worked out, and it could have been awesome. Like, you never know if you're going to be one of those channels that you're just going to hit that moment to where you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. I see what people are responding to. I know who I'm making content for. I know how to make content that people respond to, and you just ride it out, and then it becomes like a major part of your existence, so to speak. You like, that will never happen if you don't give it a shot. Walter's World says, just want to say thank you from all the creators you help. Thanks, man. Says, if you are a creator watching this and have questions, search for your questions on YouTube with Nick Nimmin in the search bar, and Nick will be there. Absolutely. Thank you for the tip, and thanks for that, man. I appreciate it. I also want to say, whoa, here, I'm going to need to log into the back end here really quick so I can address some of these other super chats real quick, and then we'll get right back to the forms down, or the questions down in the description. Miriam Harvard says, Havard, says, your channel has truly helped me grow. Thank you. My pleasure. Glad that you're enjoying the content, but more importantly, I'm glad that you're applying the stuff that you learn, right? Because that's a big part of it. Like, a lot of people will watch the videos that I put out on my channel, and other people who make content like mine, they'll watch the videos that we put out, and they'll think that watching the videos is the thing. Well, if I just watch these videos, then everything will work out. Or if I just install this tool, then everything will work out. But in reality, it's more about like, hey, I'm going to watch these videos, and I'm going to take notes, and then I'm going to apply everything that I can to what it is that I'm doing, so that I can actually get this stuff to work for me, instead of just wasting the time watching the videos and not doing anything. Like, the fact that you are applying the information and you are getting results from it, like, that's awesome. I absolutely love to get that feedback. Okay, let's see here. These are loading right now, and then I will start answering these here in just a second. All right. Woo. Okay, so the next one is from Sandy McKenzie Limbermill. Says, what do you suggest to go live with my Canon 70D? I can't go live with my phone because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. So if you are going live with your Canon 70D, then you can connect that to your computer using using something called a cam link. Now I have, voila. So this is a cam link, and you can connect it using this. It's by Elgato, and it's called a cam link. But basically, this little device, you hook the HDMI out of your Canon 70D into this, and then you can plug it into your computer. Now you can pull the mic directly from your camera through this, or you can do an additional mic like this. But keep in mind, you need to use something like Sparko Cam, which is a piece of software, in order to keep the camera from falling asleep, because they will go to sleep after a period of time. I'm actually using a Canon for this live stream right now, an M50. Mills Outdoor Vlogs says, what program would be the best to make thumbnails for free to get exposure to my channel? So when it comes to making thumbnails for free, you can use photopea.com, photopea.com. You can use canva.com. Let's see here. What else? Those will get you going. There's also some apps for it. If you go to bestcreatortools.com, that's my list of like all the stuff that I use and recommend. I'm constantly adding to it. So you can go there and you can find like all of the stuff to use for your channel. Let's see here. We got Walter's World gotten taken care of. Randy's Context says, how to effectively convert Instagram followers to YouTube subscribers. In terms of subscribers, you need to make sure that they're getting something out of your YouTube channel, just like they're following you on Instagram. If they're following you on Instagram, they're following you there for a reason. Identify what that reason is. Think about it and identify. Just be like, okay, why are people following me on Instagram? What is it about my content that they like here? And how can I take that and apply it to what it is that I'm doing on YouTube, so that when people do come over, that they enjoy the content in a similar way? But one thing to keep in mind is, people are on Instagram are just wanting to be on Instagram. That's why they opened up the app on their phone, because they're wanting to be on Instagram. People that are already on YouTube, they're already on YouTube, and they're waiting to watch videos on YouTube. They're going to, they're there to find content to watch. So the best thing that you can do is create an audience on YouTube, but let people know that you have the YouTube channel on your Instagram account. Mention it in your post descriptions. If you're on IGTV or on stories, especially if you have swipe up, for like a few times a week, let people know that you are, that you have the YouTube channel. Swipe up to go there. Have that link going over to your YouTube channel. Let's see here. Foreigners Flight Plane, got that one. Mills Outdoor Vlogs, thank you for the super chat there. Gallivanting Gals, got that. Director Jeven Paul says, keep safe, Nick. You're a great help to us YouTubers. Love your videos. Keep up the great work. My pleasure. Glad that you are enjoying the content, and thanks for the safety thing there. You be safe as well. Okay, and that brings us current, and then I got a channel membership here that I need to welcome and say some stuff to. A Wolf says, how do you grow a YouTube channel and you don't have a niche? I have ADD, so my thoughts and opinions are everywhere. You're human, so your thoughts and opinions are everywhere. My thoughts and opinions are also everywhere. I actually took Ritalin as a kid, and then eventually stopped taking it just because I didn't like taking it. But, you know, I was hyperactive, you know, child, brain all over the place, difficulty focusing, all that good stuff. The thing is with having a niche channel, it's not necessarily about your interests. It's more about the interest of the people that are watching. So the sooner that you can make the connection that your YouTube channel success is more based on the people that are watching the content than the content that you want to put out, just that understanding that deeply is going to be a game changer for anybody that's watching this right now. Because if you are doing it the other way around, then what you're doing is you're just putting out whatever and you're hoping that a video will take off, instead of making your entire channel a resource for a particular type of viewer that likes to consume a particular type of content. So if you have ADD, and I totally understand it, if you have ADD, then what you would want to do in that situation is you would want to have a niche channel, and then you would want to have a channel that is just your creative expression channel. And you'll be able to see, you know, of course, it's going to depend on your ability to get people to click and watch, but you're going to see when you do, you know, your creative expression channel versus your niche channel, there's a really, really good chance that extremely good chance that the niche channel is going to ultimately perform. If you have the same amount of uploads going, that your niche channel is going to perform better because it actually becomes a destination for people instead of it being just random content all over the place. And the reason that that's so important is because if I put out videos about cats, let's just do it this way. You come to my YouTube channel to learn about YouTube. If all of a sudden I started putting out cat videos, then a lot of you, unless you really like cats, a lot of you would be like, okay, Nick, well, it's been great. It's been great. I'll watch some of this older stuff, but this new stuff, like I'm not going to click on your cat videos because I'm not watching, like I didn't come, you know, I'm not looking for cat stuff. I'm looking for stuff about my YouTube channel when I come to your page. Some people would be like, hey, yeah, I dig Nick's cat stuff. Have you seen Nick's cat videos? I don't have a cat, by the way. I'm just using that as a reference. But the idea is, you know, you build up your channel as a source of a particular type of content for a particular type of viewer so that you become that resource, that destination for people to come to on a regular basis. And then they can refer you to people in terms of, you know, like they're at a cafe, they're eating with a friend or having coffee with a buddy, and they're talking about random stuff. And then YouTube channels come up and then they're like, oh yeah, hey, have you checked out Walter's World? Awesome travel content over there. You should go check it out. Oh yeah, sweet. I'm actually getting ready to go to Paris. Oh, you're going to Paris? Oh, well, Walter's World, he actually has some videos on Paris. You should go check it out, right? Like that's how that whole thing works, is because you become that destination for people. Let's see here. Okay, so I saw the channel membership come in, and I'm just gonna scroll up here, I'll say this. Because it's not showing up here in the admin yet. Jerwin Santos Vlogs, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. So I'm just going to scroll up here a little bit. But the thing that I want to say to you, if you are a new channel member, is first off, welcome to channel membership. Two, check the community feed because I have some members only stuff in there. Also, next time that you're on Facebook, make sure you look for Nimminati VIP on Facebook. And when you look for Nimminati VIP on Facebook, there's going to be a group that pops up, and make sure you fill out all the information on the way in. And then I approve those either after the stream or the following day. All right. Woo, woo, woo. All right. Next up on our list, we have Faith. Faith uploads every other day. They've been making videos for a year or more. They do song covers using a keyboard. That's cool. I'm thinking of getting like a, if I can find a local place to get it, I'm thinking of getting an M-Audio 88 key so that I can spend some of this inside time to actually learn how to play a piano. So I just picked up another computer so that I can make it like a music computer. It's also to test some of the asset stuff that I sell also through my website, but it's, but I'm using it as a music machine also that works with the iPad. So that's going to be cool. I don't know why I went on that rant, but yeah, the piano, I would just like to learn how to play at least at a basic level. It's my passion in making music is the goal of the channel. The question is, what can I do to make my video go viral? Because the other YouTubers have millions of views and we have the same niche. Thank you so much. So when it comes to content going viral as a cover artist, it really comes down to your cover. Like, you have to move people. So just making a cover about a song isn't going to make you go viral. What's going to make you go viral is making a cover that's so good that people want to share it with other people. When people share it with other people, they'll share it with other people, they'll share it with other people, and so on, which will make that video go viral. But if you're making a cover and it's just like, hey, I'm just making this cover, then in that situation, you have to be able to deliver something else. Like, you have to be able to layer it up or add some type of gimmick to it or add some type of thing to that cover in order to make it stand out and be worth sharing. So as an example, like if you're doing song covers using a keyboard, song covers using a keyboard dressed as a Star Wars character might get you some activity, right? If you're really good and then you're also dressed as like a stormtrooper, then in that situation, that might get you some activity. Song covers using a keyboard and you're really good, and then you can play it in some type of other way. So let's say that you have some type of like classical piano song, and you take that classical piano song and then you do like a hip hop version of that classical piano song, then that adds like a unique twist to it. Or you take that classical piano song and then you have like a buddy of yours beatbox, and then you sample in all of those keys of them beatboxing, and then you do the whole thing on your keyboard, where it would be a classical piano song, but you do it as like a beatbox thing on your keyboard or something like that. Like, you got to bring something to it to make it worth sharing, because content that goes viral is content that's worth sharing. And the only way that you're going to do that as a cover channel is by doing something awesome or just bring in like serious skill. And I do want to say, if you do have serious skill and you are, bringing something to it, sometimes it can just take time too. Like, sometimes it can just be, hey, I just got to keep putting out these songs based on popular music right now so that I can tap into that higher interest around that particular song. But keep going, because you might be really talented, but it just hasn't been picked up yet. Like, the right people haven't watched it, that shared it and all that stuff to get that whole chain going. So because of that, keep walking down that road, but just make sure that you definitely bring something to the table to make sure that it's worth sharing. Eleanor BC says, tips on having more subscribers and views for new YouTubers. And is it okay to only use one channel for a different niche? So here's what I recommend. I recommend that you use, like, okay, when it comes to a niche, a lot of people think that you can only do one type of content if you are serving a niche. It doesn't necessarily work out that way. The idea is you want to think about who is watching that content, and then you want to make content that person or that group of people would enjoy. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it would be, okay, like, we'll just use this piano channel since we're talking about it. So like the cover channel, if it was pianos, that doesn't mean that they necessarily have to only make piano covers. They could make covers where they sing. They could make covers where they're playing the drums or guitar. They could do just anything where they're doing any type of music creation type of thing that would be kind of like a mass appeal type of content. So when you're thinking of a niche, think of a niche in terms of who is it that I'm trying to serve with this content, and then that opens you up to the type of content that you can make. But you have to know that first in order to make sure that you can deliver the content to those people on a regular basis, and that you can, like I was saying before, that you can turn your channel into a resource for that specific type of content for specific types of viewers. So as an example, on my channel, I've got live streaming content, right? Technically, if you went by the like hollow or the narrow niche view, then I would just have an entire channel of live streaming content. But that's not the case, because I'm trying to reach content creators. So since I'm trying to reach content creators, they live stream. Content creators on YouTube, they live stream. Content creators on YouTube also make content with their mobile devices. So I have mobile content that I put out. Content creators obviously want to know about YouTube. So because of that, I share YouTube information as well. And then these live streams, of course, this is more YouTube-based information and a little bit of everything. But basically what that does is it basically changes it to where you don't necessarily are pigeonholed to a specific, exact, like I can only make piano covers as that example. But it's like, okay, who am I trying to reach and what type of content would they most likely be interested in? and then you make that content. And then as you're making that content, you're going to quickly find out what people respond to from that group. You're going to quickly find out what it is that the people that you're getting put in front of on YouTube, you're going to find out what it is that they respond to compared to what it is that they don't respond to, or they don't respond to as much. And then of course, you're going to develop a content strategy around that. And you're going to say, okay, well, I put out this content for this reason. So therefore, even though people don't respond to it as much, I'm still going to put it out just because it serves this purpose. The content that people respond to the most, I'm putting that one out when I'm thinking of like channel growth and subscriber counts and getting my view counts up and that kind of thing. But basically, like as you're putting it all together, you start using all the data that you get from YouTube on how people are responding to each thing that you're doing for that group that you're targeting or that person that you're targeting. And then you basically move through your content decisions by doing that. Mugestu says, to the chat, keywords increase your chance of being found. Thumbnails increase your chance of being clicked. If you do both well and you have great content, then it will take care of itself. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing that, that's really, like that's such a simple idea, but it's really hard to, it's really hard to just focus all efforts on like getting a thumbnail and getting a title clicked. And that's why people have such a hard time doing it, I think. Because you're absolutely correct. Like get people, like basically that comes down to just getting people to respond to what it is that you're doing. If you get people to respond to what it is that you're doing, then your channel will do well. If people aren't responding to what it is that you're doing, then you have to figure out how to get people to respond in order for your channel to do well. So absolutely. Thanks for mentioning that. All right. Next up on our list, we've got Walter. Hashtag your mindset. They upload 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. It's a mindset channel, appropriately. The goal of the channel is to help people with depression to rock life, because I've been very depressed. The question is, I get 20 views a video. How do I choose the right headline for my video to rank higher and get more views? So when it comes to choosing the right headline for your video, you have to think of the entire package that's wrapped around your video. So just like if I were to, let's just do it this way. When you're putting your packaging together for your video, your packaging contains your thumbnail and your title, right? Of course, your topic is also at the very top of that. It's part of your packaging. But when you're putting the packaging together for your video, you have to think, okay, my title and my thumbnail, even though they're 2 separate things, how do they work together? How do they work together to make it clear what my video is about? And how can I use my title and my thumbnail in a way to trigger or to encourage the people that I'm trying to reach with my content to click on either my thumbnail, title, or the combination of the two, and to come in and watch my video, right? So when it comes to making the right title for your video, you have to think of 1, the people that you're trying to reach. 2, you also have to think of the source that you're trying to reach. And what I mean by that is on the people side, and the reference that I like to give, and I actually just finished up this part in the course, so the reference is fresh. But basically the reference that I like to give is if you are trying to reach like people that are like diabetics that are trying to be healthy, right? Then in that situation, actually putting for diabetics in your title will make sure that you're targeting that right group of people, because those people are going to be the ones that are clicking on your video to come in and watch it because they're interested in that, or they do something to where diabetics would be, interested in that content. Maybe they're a cook or something like that. If you are doing that with your thumbnail as well, then you also want to think of, okay, like if my title says something for diabetics, then my thumbnail itself, how can I make that to where it'll stop that person in their tracks? So an example that I like to give is you have a piece of chocolate cake, and with that chocolate cake, then you just put sugar-free on there. If it was a sugar-free chocolate cake, you'd put sugar-free on that chocolate cake image, and that right away is like, hey, this looks delicious. Wait a minute, this is sugar-free. Title, delicious cake recipe for diabetics, right? So what you're doing right there is you're basically building the package around who it is that you're trying to reach. Now, the second part of that is what it is that you're trying to reach. So when it comes to what it is that you're trying to reach, if you're trying to reach search, then you're going to title your video differently in a lot of cases than if you are trying to tap into YouTube's recommendation features. Because if you're trying to tap into YouTube's recommendation features, your title needs to be something that is like, it's not something that people are looking for. It's something that people get presented. So because of that, you have to put tons of thought into making sure that 1, it's clear, 2, I missed the super chat from Walkfly. Okay, yep, I will. I'll refresh that page. But basically, what you have to do is you have to think of that source, because if you are just trying to optimize your video for search, then in that case, your title can just be the specific search term that you're optimizing for plus a compelling element. Like just those two things, as long as you have a good thumbnail and it all makes sense as the package, then in that case, as long as people respond to your video and they click at a fair rate, then those videos will show up in search. Sometimes they'll be in top spots, sometimes they'll be low, but they will keep showing up in search as long as you're getting people to respond to them. In terms of if you're trying to tap into the recommendation features where most of the traffic is on YouTube, you have to get really good at getting people to respond randomly to what it is that you're doing. So basically, when you are putting your titles together, you don't even necessarily have to put like a keyword phrase. You just have to put the actual keyword or keyword phrase that the viewer would identify, right? To where it's like, okay, this isn't a search term. Like I'm not putting together a search term and optimizing around that search term. I'm putting together a keyword or keyword phrase for a human being in terms of, okay, if a human is watching videos about a particular topic, YouTube is going to associate that, hey, this person is watching videos on this particular type of thing. Like for example, I got my MacBook and I've been watching a lot of videos about MacBooks. So all of a sudden my homepage is filled with MacBook videos. I got like app videos from Daily Tech. I've got all of these different app videos on setting it up and getting it to work and all these different things you can do with it. Because YouTube has identified that topically, I'm interested right now, at this point in time, I'm interested in information about MacBooks. So because of that, YouTube goes and it finds other content elsewhere on YouTube where they talk about MacBooks and they present that content to me. And then when I'm looking and I load my homepage on YouTube and it says must-have apps for MacBook Pro, I'm like, oh, I'm in here because I like this is the first Mac that I've had in like a really long time. So I'm like, okay, must-have apps for MacBook Pro. So in that situation, they triggered me by writing a title that makes sense for me, for somebody that's looking around for MacBook stuff. And YouTube has identified that I'm there topically. So then their ability to trigger me when that's presented to me on a homepage is the must-have part, right? So that was so compelling for me because I'm like, oh, must-have apps for MacBook. Okay, yeah, I'm clicking Daily Tech, right? And he's also really good too, to where it's like, you know, like must-have apps for MacBook Pro that you didn't even know you needed. Really long title, but man, I'm that's like fire for me. I'm like, yes, click, right? So when you're putting your headlines together, your packaging for your videos, you have to think about who you're targeting and what it is that you're targeting, so that you can make sure that you're constructing everything in a way that will get the response from that particular source that you're trying to tap into. Karma Cashflow says, Nick, question, do you fully script out your video or do you just write some bullet points and plan it in your head? Benefits of both. I usually script out everything, but might try another way. So, hey, Daniel Batal in the house. What's up, dude? Nice to see you in here. So for me, I do bullet points. So depending on the video and depending on the thing, like if I do a video where I bring in my Slacker Nick character, then in that situation, I'll do a bullet point plus a note, like save this so that Slacker Nick can pick it up. And then when Slacker Nick's thing comes in, then on his side, I'll typically do another line with his to where I know how to give it back to myself so I can pick it back up on my end. But basically, like those little things, I'll write notes to myself about. But the actual content itself is bullet pointed. And the reason for that is because having the bullet points lets me communicate in my natural way, just like I'm doing right now in the live stream, instead of reading the script, looking at the camera, saying a few lines, reading the script, looking at the camera, saying a few lines, oh crap, messed it up, read it again, say a few lines again. Because instead of communicating just how I communicate, my brain is thinking, am I saying it right? What's the next thing that I say? And trying to put that structure together instead of just talking about the thing that it is that I'm talking about. So me personally, I'm a big fan of bullet points because I think that it helps you communicate in a more natural way. It keeps you in line in terms of like, hey, these are the things that I have to talk about, but I think it helps you communicate in a much more natural way. And another thing with bullet points too, that I personally do when I'm making my videos, and Vigard will tell you this too, because he actually has to sort through some of the clips, is sometimes I'll say the same thing like 5 or 6 or 7 different times because I'll say it and I'll be like, didn't come out right. Or I'll mess it up, right? Like I'll just be talking and then like my brain will just trail off, and I'm like, oh, what was I saying? And then I'll have to like watch the previous clip in order to make sure that that I'm coming back in the right place. But you know, it'll take sometimes several different clips. Other times that one clip will just be, you know, like a one take, and then I move on to the next one. But doing bullet points and just talking about that bullet point is a great way to do it and to communicate in a natural way. Jonathan O'Rear, what's up, dude? Nice to see you here in the chat. Josh Razuxis, what's up, dude? Nice to see you. I hope that you are doing well. Nightmare Files says, how do I apply for my silver play button? I'm close to getting 100K. High five and fist bump to you. I'd like to start the process prior so it won't take that long. So it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So basically, once you cross 100,000 subscribers, after that, then you have to wait some time, and then you'll get a notification in your dashboard, in your Creator Studio dashboard, and then you click on that, and then you have to fill out a form from there. So unfortunately, there's not a way to get ahead of it. You have to basically wait for you to cross 100,000 subscribers, and then there's a period of time. I think it took me like a month before it even popped up. And I kept hitting up chat support, because you'll get chat support too, by the way. If you don't have it already, you might have it already, but you'll get chat support, and you'll hit them up like, hey, you know, will you add a verified button to my stuff? Because they'll add the verification mark too. I actually got the verification mark literally within like 10 minutes of crossing 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So hit up chat support for that. Some people, it might take longer. I know Dr. Sten, it took him like a month or something to get the check mark, because he's doing medical content. So he had to do all types of verification stuff and all this. But yeah, the check mark you can probably get really quick depending on the type of content. And for the play button, you're going to have to wait for it to show up in order to do that. As a matter of fact, I got a very special guest, Brian G. Johnson.
Whoa!
In the house. What is up, Brian G? Nice to see you in here. Brian G, how long did it take you to get the notification in your Creator Studio for your play button? Seize the Day Studios, thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, good question. I'm not even sure it showed up, or if it did, it was like for a day and I didn't see it, and I had to kind of wind back, connect with support, YouTube support on Twitter, and just kind of go through that whole process. But it's really nice to get that reward. Is like, it's so amazing.
It is. It is. It feels great. And you open it up and you're like, holy cow, I did it. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's
Absolutely
just, it's so awesome. Like, think about how many platforms like reward their creators, and they pay us too. That's pretty amazing. Like, we get paid.
It really is. So really quick, Josh and let's see here, Josh and fam, I want to let you know, first off, welcome to the channel membership. Make sure that you check the community feed. There's some stuff in there for you. Also, next time you're on Facebook, make sure that you look for Nimmin VIP on Facebook and join that group. Fill out all the questions on the way in, because I verify everybody's a member on the way in. So Brian G, man, how's it going?
He's doing pretty darn good. Publishing videos, back on the grind. Momentum is building. Just loving the creative process. Great questions on the show today. So many new YouTubers out there, just excited. And I just want to say, anybody with a big dream can make it happen. And if that's you, if you're watching this morning or this evening, wherever you are,
if you're washing. If you're washing,
also, like,
yeah, if you're washing,
I'm waking, so I'm not even fully on yet. And there you are again. I'm worried about how many cups of coffee you had, because
I'm only halfway through. I had one before, and then I'm halfway through this one.
Because last week, for the first 20 minutes, you were so fired up, I could barely get a word in. I'm just like, let him do his thing.
let the steam kind of wear off, right?
Let it wear off. There's no competing against this right now.
Oh. Okay, so the next question that we have here on the list, Brian, you ready to answer some questions?
Cheers. Let's do this, brother.
All right, cheers. Take one more sip here for this one. If you are drinking coffee right now, or water, or whatever your favorite, coffee, tea, or whatever your favorite beverage happens to be, let's get a cheers here in the chat. Hashtag cheers. Everybody enjoy your beverage.
Hey, listen.
Okay.
Listen.
So the question, I see you rolling up your sleeves. You're getting ready for the question. You're like, all right, okay, here they come. Here they come. The question is from Real Adventures Hawaii. Real Adventure Hawaii, they upload 1 time per week or more. They do fishing content. The goal of the channel is to hit 100K subs. And the question is it pretty much a grind? Is it pretty much just a grind, always posting videos until you get lucky with a viral video? Or should you be shooting to get a viral video versus just grinding? I've been posting 1 to 2 times per week for 12 months, and I got about 8,000 subs. Go.
So here's the thing. Every time you film a video, you want to be really striving to do a certain thing. Think about this. What is it about your video that stands out from all the other fishing videos out on YouTube? If you're a gamer and you're publishing Let's Play, your video is similar to millions and millions of other videos that are Let's Play. So if you're a fishing channel, think about all the things that you could do that are really specific, and you want to grind. You have to grind in order to be able to really start connecting all these dots. So many times we like, I'm just overwhelmed. There's so much information. But if you continue to upload videos, and every single video, you're striving to improve upon things like your lighting, your audio. So if you're outside, you're like, well, my lighting is the sky. Yeah, but how is your camera settings? How dialed in are they? When you're filming, are you aware of the position of the sun? I am. Like literally, I think about so many hundreds of different things with every little video I publish. And it took me a lot of videos to put that all together. So just know that every time you make a video, your goal is to create something unique and different. That's the value. That's the like, think about the thing you did as a kid for the first time. So fun, so exciting. You want to create that first time experience for the viewer. And then you want to do the best you can without going overboard. Like, put a time limit on it. You can't work on like this masterpiece video for a month. But if you don't care at all, and you're just like, it's just a numbers game, you're really doing yourself a disservice. So focus on creating the best video you can within reason, and then continue to upload. And when you do that, number one, the quality of your videos will rise. Number two, you're going to be more likely to understand what works because you're always striving to improve and you're on the grind. This is really the process to greatness as a YouTuber.
And with that also, like, absolutely, like there's the grind part. And then of course you can do things to accelerate the grind. Those things are go into your stats, figure out the content people are responding to more over content that people are not responding to. Make sure that you get very familiar with your audience retention and your click-through rate that you're getting for the different traffic sources on YouTube, so that you can make sure that you're making content that's getting a response in the right places that you're trying to that you're trying to get in front of people, and that they're responding in the way that you want. Because if they're not, then it's going to continue to be a slower grind. But the better that you can get at getting people to click, watch for a longer period of time, and engage in what it is that you're doing and keep coming back to the channel, the better that you get at that, the faster everything is going to accelerate with what it is that you're doing. But also just thinking topically, like, hey, if I'm making fishing content, what's the stuff that the most amount of people that are into fishing, what's the stuff that they're the most interested in? And can I make content about those things? Because the general interest around those particular, topics would be higher, which gives you bigger growth potential in those particular situations. So really quick, I want to take a super quick chat question here from Walk Ride Fly. Says, thank you for adding lots of value to my YouTube life. My pleasure. Glad you're enjoying the content. Says, when choosing tags on TubeBuddy, do you choose based on relevance or score to rank higher? Me personally, I use it. I'll go on score. And when I look at the score, I still go and I manually research too. So I don't look at it and I just say, okay, this is the score, I'm going. I look at the score and then I go in and I manually research. If it's something I'm trying to rank and search, I manually research. And the reason I manually research is because even though the search volume might be relatively high for that term in terms of the tool, even though that the optimization might be high in the tool in terms of my ability to rank in those, or rank against the other people there, I also want to go and check out the videos. And I want to think, okay, the things that I'm trying to rank for, one, are these titles written in a way to where people are like really on this, or can, by looking at these titles, can I think while I'm looking at these titles of a way that I could write a similar title but better, so that I might be able to outrank the other people on for this term I'm trying to go for. Same thing with the video content. I'll watch some of the videos in the top spots. Okay, let's watch this. Let's see what they're doing in the video. Let's see if there's an opportunity here where I think they might have lost people in the video, to where I can maybe get to the point faster, or I can do something else in order to, possibly get more watch time than they're getting on the video, things like that. So I always go in and I manually research as well, just to make sure that I'm giving myself the best chance. So I use the tool as like a quick, like, okay, should I go for this? Should I go for this? Nope, that one's no way, not that one. Ooh, here's a good one. Let's go for this one. And then I go in and I do the manual research. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I think the first thing that is really important to say, because the amount of people, YouTubers that are starting, that really have this kind of correlation, connection between tags and ranking, it's a little bit off. Really, the amount of ranking power that are encapsulated in the tags, in other words, how helpful are tags when it comes to ranking, is probably not that much. That doesn't mean you shouldn't use tags. Excuse me. It does mean that what you want to do is really focus on a few things. Number one, the keyword phrase has to be in the title of your video. If you want to play the rank game, then you start with the keyword phrase, you put that in the title, and then you take it a step further. You got to really disassociate your brain. Listen, this part is really important. You have to disassociate that it's about the algorithm and tags. It's about human beings that are on the other side of the screen watching the video you're going to create. And if they're searching for something like best fishing in Tampa, Florida, then you want to understand what is it that those people really want. And the more you can create a video that go into those things and talk about those things, the more your delivery is on par, the better your thumbnail, the more clicks you get. All of these things really add up to a video ranking. The thing to think about with YouTube's tags is they can help you understand what the audience is searching for. And what I would say is look at the keyword phrase and find related phrases using something like TubeBuddy, and then throw those in the tags. But just know that doesn't mean you're going to rank. What the power in ranking comes from your ability, number one, to get more people to click on your video than other similar videos. That's the first step. You have to, and literally YouTube says this in YouTube, like their educational information. YouTube says that your video and thumbnail are competing against other similar videos. So you've got to get more people to click on yours than the other. So that means that what's much more important is your ability to create a compelling title and a great looking thumbnail to win the click. Then as soon as they click, that only means they're interested. Think about this. When someone clicks on your video, that doesn't mean they like it. They're still judging you. They're like, this gal's got 10 seconds to bring it. And if they don't, I'm gone. So when they click, that's interest. Now you've got to win them over, and you do that by getting them to watch your video longer. In fact, Nick, have you noticed in the new studio analytics, if you go to a specific video and you click on engagement, that one of the metrics is end screen clicks, the percentage of end screen clicks. Now that's a really interesting thing, because not only are you getting someone to click on another video in your end screen, but it sends a huge message to YouTube that the viewer made it all the way to the end, and then they clicked on another video. These are the things to focus on, because quite frankly, tags will not get you what you want. Sad but true.
Boom. All right, next question that we have is from Real Adventures Hawaii. It says, is it best to always do videos as premieres, or is there any benefit to it? So test it, see what your audience responds to. So when it comes to premieres, personally, I don't ever watch premieres. As soon as I know it's a premiere, I bounce. And then I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll end up catching that video some other time if it gets presented to me, but I'm not gonna sit and wait for 30 minutes to watch a video that I just clicked on expecting to watch right now. So because of that, I personally hate premieres and I don't do them on my channel. And the videos that I did do as premieres on my channel also tanked, which means that you, at least, you know, the people that watch my content, you didn't care much for that either. So because of that, I don't do them for your sake. And I personally don't consume that kind of stuff as well. But I do want to say that you should test it with your audience, because I do know that some people do have success with premieres and they do okay for them. So because of that, you know, test it and just see how your audience responds. And also just think of that experience that you're giving people, you know, like when people are coming into your channel for different stuff all the time, you know, it's really important to just think of the experience that they're getting from the content that you're putting out there, and kind of tricking people. The way that I look at it anyway is kind of tricking people with the premiere is just not a good experience from my personal perspective. And Heartbeat of Our Feet says, what is a premiere? So a premiere is basically when you, it's a published setting. inside of your YouTube channel. So how normally you would just go and you would set a video to private or unlisted or to public, there's also an option to premiere that video. And basically what it is it's kind of a hybrid of a live stream and a published video. So the video publishes and then you watch it together live. It's got a chat next to it and all of that. You can even get super chats while it's happening. But it's basically like a live / video experience that everybody can watch together. Now, the downside is they send out these notifications during the premiere or before the premiere. And that's the thing that I'm talking about, where you get that notification that the premiere's there or that it's been posted, and then you go in to participate, and then you realize that you got to come back in 30 minutes when you're going to be busy doing something else. So, so for me, not a fan, but definitely test it with your folks, with the people that are watching your with your content. All right, back into the questions. Okay, next up on our list, we have B Millionaire says that they upload bi-weekly content. They've been on YouTube for less than a year. It's finance / business content. The goal is to build a community of people. It says how to promote my channel because I feel I'm going into the comments of others is spamish and doesn't work as good. Yeah. So when it comes to promoting your YouTube channel, other people's comment sections are not the place to do it. So the thing that people misinterpret when people say like, hey, comment on other videos, that sort of thing. It's not to go and try to collect subscribers from that. It's just being active around the community of the content that you're in. Now, if you're doing that for the purpose of gaining subscribers, you're wasting your time, and that time is better spent doing other things. If you
100%.
are doing that as like, hey, I'm just watching this person's video, I dig their stuff, so I'm going to leave a comment, let them know, what I picked up from the video or whatever it happens to be, totally different. Right. Another thing is, and I'm sure, Brian, you get this too. If you're making help content, you'll also occasionally get people that'll come in and they have another channel that is like yours and they're just getting started and they come in and they're trying to answer people's questions and stuff because they think that they'll be able to steal people from your comment section or lure people from your comment section. But those people, even those tactics, they don't work that well because as soon as that gets identified, they get hidden from the channel. So because of that, you definitely want to spend your time doing other things. Brian, with the amount of time that somebody might spend dropping comments in other people's videos, what's one thing that you think that they could spend time doing?
Really thinking about the first 10 seconds of their video. How to say something that makes people go, whoa, what? Like that's really the thing you want. And it's so funny, Nick, because our pal, Leroy, is that the guy that lives in your area?
Leon,
thank you.
Yeah.
He messaged me yesterday and his comment was, hey man, I just read across this strategy that has to do with like leaving all kinds of crazy value and comments. I'm like, no way, don't do that. That just, it's not where you want to be. And the thing to think about, and I just want to reach out to so many people in chat right now, because a lot of you, you're so fixated on your question that you're missing the exact answers on how to get what you want. If you want to grow, like what Nick's talking about is so helpful. And the thing to think about is if you do want to grow, identify 5 YouTubers, 10 YouTubers that you respect, that have the results that you want, and really study their actions. Let me ask you, do you think Nick spends a lot of time on other channels dropping tons of knowledge in comments that take him 10 minutes to write and then he goes to the next channel? No way. Nick knows that the most important thing is he's got to publish a video that people really love. And he has continued to practice video creation, thumbnail design, how to communicate on camera, how to edit his videos. He's interested in lighting. He's interested in macro photography. Nick Nimmin is a video creator. And if you're spending your time doing anything else than trying to understand how to be a badass mother frickin' YouTube creator,
hey man, on the monetization thing on the way in, I set this as no bad language. Just as a heads up. So keep an eye on that.
Is a badass is ass? Where does ass?
Yeah, I don't know. Asking. I'm not sure. Yeah, yeah.
But anyway,
inappropriate
for
language.
Real, though,
that's what
right?
It was. Yeah, I was like, no inappropriate language.
So the thing to think about is like you really just want to keep it simple. And what's tough is you might think, oh, I tried that, but it's not about trying it. It's not about I've done everything and nothing works. It's about understanding that thumbnails are really important. And every time I publish a video, I have a chance to make a better thumbnail. And if you keep improving, you'll get what you want.
Another thing on that note that I would like to add, and really quick, I want to thank and welcome Tinkerman Mick. Welcome to the channel membership. Make sure you check the community feed. There's some stuff in there for you. Also, check the next time you're on Facebook, look for Nimmin VIP and join the Facebook group. Make sure you fill out all the stuff on the way in, because I approve everybody on the way in. But one thing that I want to mention in that regard also is when you are taking those kind of actions, you're commenting on other channels, for the sake of, of pulling viewers over, you're doing giveaways for the sake of attracting subscribers, like that kind of thing. Personally, I think that's the wrong approach. I think that like when you are like, if you're on giveaways, you should give to give, not give to receive in that situation, right? I think when you are doing comments, same exact thing. Like you're engaging in the comments on that channel because you want to be a participant of that channel. You dig what that creator's doing, and that's why you're there. You're actually giving your feedback to that creator instead of I'm commenting so that I can receive from this. So I think that when you kind of shift that approach and you're like, hey, I'm going to participate because I just dig participating. I love the space I'm in. I love the other creators that are in this space. I love the stuff that they're doing. I'm like just super, like I dig, the other stuff that other people are doing. So that by itself will change the types of comments that you're even leaving. So, like when you're taking that approach, it's definitely something that will bring you a bigger benefit than doing everything just for the sake of, I might get a subscriber out of this.
Yeah, I love that, Nick. And I just want to add one more thing. The thing to think about is when you're focused on all these other like lower level strategies, because quite frankly, no big YouTubers do any of the things that are so commonly asked. Like, what about transcription? Or like, there's value in that, but it's not the most important stuff. What about commenting on other channels? You're taking a precious brain space. Time. You're thinking about like all the things that you could be doing other than the most important stuff. And it's like the difference between a pretty good thumbnail and an amazing thumbnail is like just a little bit of extra effort. And it's hard to get there. But if you're only focused on that, then you're going to be more likely to really kind of push that snowball over the hill. And then you're going to start seeing the growth you're after. So keeping it simple is powerful.
Eileen Smith, thanks for the 10 spot, says, great tip, Brian. I'm working on this right now. I need to identify some YouTubers that I can add as competitors on TubeBuddy. Welcome to the stream, Eileen. She was in the meditation stream earlier today as well. Nice seeing you here, Eileen. Hope that you are doing fantastically. Shroom 2020 says they upload 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. They do gaming content. The goal of the channel is fun. How do I make good calls to action? It's not great at the method of the list. I'm not great at the method of the list. For a call to action, all you do is simply just put a reason why they should participate in whatever call to action it is that you're doing. So there's more complex explanations that I could give, but at the very base of it, start with that. Just tell people why they should interact with what it is that you're doing. So when you are like trying to get people to leave comments, right? Ask them a question, like, hey, let me know what you think about that in the comments, or, have you done that before? Yes or no? Tell me down in the comments. If you're trying to give them to leave a like, instead of just saying, hey, leave a like, tell them why they should leave a like. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, give me a thumbs up. If you are, if you agree with what I just said, give me a thumbs up, right? So what you're doing there is you're basically giving them a reason that they should engage instead of just asking them to engage. Do you have anything to stack on that, Brian?
Yeah, I think just you nailed it. Like just really calling it out and saying, hey, if you dig this video, make sure to subscribe. Another thing that Nick started is just drop in a lower third, which is a little graphic in the lower third of your video, and just it says subscribe. So it's funny how Nick will say something and I'll be working on something else, and then like what Nick said goes into my brain, and we both kind of always been really focused on how well can we keep viewers watching our video. Because like we've talked about today, that's such a core element of success. And one of the things to consider too is when you create a great video, even with no calls to action, people will still subscribe. Or you might not even tell them to subscribe, but if you add the lower third, if you just have a little simple graphic that says subscribe, that will improve the odds that people will actually subscribe. So just moving forward and focusing on keeping it simple on yourself. One thing I will say that's super helpful is the easier you make it on people to take an action. So if you want more subscribers, if you only say, hey, you should subscribe, you'll be far more likely to get subscribers rather than you do the thing, and I'm smiling and laughing a bit because Nick has laughed about this and mentioned it in videos. And I thought about a t-shirt like, hey, bro, ring the bell, join my Patreon, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. You can visit me on Facebook. Like, the more you overload people, number one, they're going to tune you out because it's not why they came to your video. Nobody gives a crap about any of that stuff until you create something that matters to them. So it's like, if you think that's the solution to growing your channel, it can help when your videos are awesome. So focus on the awesome video part and then keep it simple and tell them to do one thing. Hey, if you like this video, subscribe. That's it. It's really not complicated. And because it's simple, you'll be more likely to get people to actually follow that recommendation of clicking the subscribe button.
Stunted growth. Yeah, the meditation stream that we're talking about, I'm doing a daily meditation stream. Whoa, did I freeze?
Yep.
I think I did.
I'm surprised I didn't freeze.
Wow. Yeah, like
well, your camera settings are flashing on the screen too.
Oh yeah, I just like completely went down.
Yeah, you completely, now you just turned into a laptop, dude.
Holy
That's
cow.
awkward. Well, hey everybody, I guess it's Brian's stream now. So it's so great to see everybody here. And, you know, just like I said, growing a channel is really fun. It's really exciting. And do the work, put in the effort to move forward, and you'll do absolutely fine. Let's take a few questions here. If you've got a question, just pop it in. I'm curious to know, what are the things that you're currently working on when it comes to the videos you publish? Or if you're thinking about launching a channel, let me know like what kind of hurdles you need to overcome. Someone said, Brian G, what part of Colorado do you live in? I live in Colorado Springs right now, which is about 90 minutes south of Denver. Thumbnails, that's awesome. Someone says editing. And again, these are really great answers right now. Someone's working on watch time, super fantastic. And when you're focused on your watch time, the thing to focus on is view duration. So when you look at the cards, you know, in the studio dashboard, when you look at your most recent video, pay attention to how long, that's the view duration that the viewers are watching, and try to extend that. One of the things I hear a lot from people is it better to publish longer videos, or is it better to publish shorter videos and get more people to the end? And I personally believe that this approach is wrong, and instead do your best to create a really great video that people dig, and your goal is to keep them watching. If you've got a shorter video, that's absolutely fine, but you want to get as many people to the end of the video as you can. And again, that's view duration. If you're going really in depth into one particular subject, then the thing you can do is to strive to keep them watching your video longer. There's no really one best way when it comes to growing your YouTube channel. What is good watch time? And again, this is really kind of goes into the answer I'm laying down right now. So this was who asked that question? It's already scrolled past. Vlogger asked, you know, what's a good watch time? Really, the answer when it comes to watch time is to look at your average view duration and strive to improve upon that. There's no one good watch time, because every time you publish a new video, you're going to be competing against other videos that are targeting the same type of content. So if you're making a Fortnite Let's Play, there's a certain kind of watch time view duration you're going to want to hit, and that's going to be different from a fishing video and so on. So the thing to think about is just understand where you're able to get people to watch, right? How long can you keep people watching your video, and then you want to strive to improve that. How do you verify your YouTube account? So if you go into YouTube, there should be some a setting you can click on, and basically you can dial in with a cell phone and you verify that way. And once you verify, then you can do things like upload thumbnails, you can publish longer videos, and so on. That's one of the things you can do. There are two methods. You can also verify on a computer as well. Here's a great question from Spiely's Gaming. I'm not sure if I got that first part right, but what was it? It was like, can advertising help me grow my channel? And the answer is usually not. And what you'll find is it's really pretty expensive in order to get one subscriber. Like how much you'll have to pay in order to get enough views on a video to get a subscriber can be upwards of 50 cents to $1 for one subscriber. And furthermore, it's really based on how much people like your videos. So if people don't really dig your videos, you're going to probably struggle in order to, get those subscribers to grow your channel. You'd be much better off if you are thinking, I want to invest in my channel. That's awesome. Successful YouTubers, I've got fancy lights here. I've got multiple monitors. One of the things you can do is go get some really great channel art for your YouTube channel that looks professional. Have someone create some thumbnail templates for you specifically for your channel, so you have your own brand and you stand out. That would be a better use of your money when it comes to really growing a channel. Again, it's focusing on the content that you publish. Someone just, Mr. BP, should I live stream right away? I just have so someone asked, boy, the comments are going so fast. Someone asked about live streaming to grow a channel. The thing to think about is I would encourage you to live stream at any point in order to get more comfortable on a live stream, in order to get more comfortable in front of a camera. The more you live stream, the more you're going to be able to talk without saying ums and ahs, the more you're going to be able to hold your thoughts and whatnot, engage with an audience and whatnot. And that will help you as far as like to grow your channel. If you're just getting started, I would really focus on publishing videos or live streaming. What I find is if people think that they've published a bunch of videos and that's not working, or it's really hard and they're like, gosh, editing takes so long, so I'll live stream, it's easier. A lot of times that doesn't result in people actually subscribing to your channel. The reason why is because oftentimes at the end of a live stream, when it turns into a video, people don't value a live stream. What are you doing here? Yeah, that's right. I'm doing fine on my own, Nick. It's all good. Poor Nick. Nick's live stream. Nick got kicked off his own live stream. So anyway, like what I would say is if you're a live streamer, then you're a live streamer. If you are a YouTuber and you publish videos, then publish videos to grow. What you'll find is people like Nick and myself, we live stream now and then, but our live streams really don't grow our channel as much as our videos. So focus on your videos first. Or if you just really dig live streaming, then focus on that. Raphael Gaming, should I make topics about trending stuff, for example, gaming? Trending topics can work really well, but what I would say is choose a niche first. Choose one niche. Like if you're going to do gaming content, then really focus on first-person shooters or a specific type of game. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have a big YouTuber, big guest here. His name is Nick Nimmin. Can I get a round of applause? Fist pump for Nick in the chat.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Nice to be here on the stream. So basically, here's what went down, Brian. So my Canon, I think it just officially died. So that kind of sucks. So basically, I'm on the Sony, coming through this way now. So hey,
I can see you through my eye hole, so it
that's all that matters, right? But we're back on.
You seem to have an image there.
So I'm just trying. So basically what I was doing during this time is one, I was just trying to get everything set up and grabbing this and plugging the battery thing into it. And then I'm like, I had it over on the other side, but I was like, oh no, my audio, how am I going to get into my mic? So then I had to like move everything around in order to bring it in here. But here we are back. And
well, you did a pretty good job. You configured all that stuff really fast, and it's funny when you were explaining that. I could hear you catch your breath a little bit, and I could hear a little bit of the stress releasing from you.
Yeah, can't believe I had to do that. Yeah, I'm still like kind of halfway configuring like as I go here, so I can get into like a better position, so I'm a little bit more comfortable. Let's get the mouse here on my pants, on my knee here, so that I can pull stuff from the chat. All right, ready to rock and roll. Can you hear me okay, Brian G?
Through my ear holes.
Okay, good. Okay, so the next question that we have here on the list is from Little Angel. Little Angel says they upload when they have time. They have a pet channel. I want to share the cuteness and talents of my dog with the world. Says, how do I grow my channel? So that's a really good question. And Little Angel, so here's the thing. When it comes to growing a YouTube channel, I understand you wanting to share the cuteness of your dog with your channel. I've actually seen your YouTube channel, and I know the Chihuahua that you have is indeed adorable. But it's more than just showing your dog. Like there has to be something going on with your dog. Just showing your dog like eating a bone, for example, like that's like there's not a lot of value in that situation in terms of people like wanting to come back, in terms of, you know, people just getting into it. And also in your specific case, when I did look at your channel, your thumbnails, you weren't using custom thumbnails. So you just had like screenshots, and some of them had like the black bars on the side and things like that. Like one thing that's really important for everybody to make sure that you're always thinking about when it comes to YouTube, every single thing that you do on YouTube, you have to be able to do it if you're trying to grow. If you're just uploading videos because, hey, I just want to document this time with my dog, or I want to document this time with my family, or I just want to put up content because it's just fun, I like making stuff, that's cool. And sometimes those channels can get traction. But if you really want to come in and you want to like go and like turn this into something, or you like really want to get viewers and you really want to get subscribers on your channel, and you want to get ad revenue and all the stuff that comes with it, then you have to come to compete. And what I mean by that is you can't just make content for the sake of making content. You have to think, what is it that people are going to get out of this? Like, for example, if you look at Netflix, on Netflix, they don't just like randomly put up videos from Netflix. I can't just send Netflix a video and they just put it out there for people to watch on Netflix. It's very specific. They have quality standards. They have, you know, like they put them in a certain package to where the actual box covers or the covers for the movies look great. They have previews that they put together, you know, all this stuff. And then they feature videos that people or content that people enjoy on Netflix and that kind of stuff. Movies that have done well in the box office, that sort of thing. So, you know, it's important to think about, okay, when people are coming to my YouTube channel, or they're being presented the content that I'm putting out, what is it that people are going to get out of this? Just looking at your dog, and don't take this personally, but just looking at your dog and thinking like, oh, it's a cute dog, there's not value there in terms of like, hey, I need to subscribe to this channel so I can come back and watch more of this content. Now, if you're showing your dog how to do things, or there's specific things that your dog is doing that's a lot different than what other dogs do, like Brian's dogs, for example, they do Brian's taxes for him. So like in situations like that, if you have dogs like that where they're like on a computer, they're in like, you know, they're in like software for taxes, like QuickBooks or something, and they're like, you know, doing your taxes, then in that situation, like that's something that's epic, and you know, that it makes it worth coming in and watching. But just that's getting a look at a cute dog, it's not enough. So because of that, just think of, okay, when I'm putting this content together, one, I need to actually make content instead of just like a raw video of just like my dog sitting on a sofa doing something. Like you need to, you got to put something into it so that the viewers can get something out of it. Okay. Brian, any additional thoughts, especially being a dog lover? And really quick, Chad B says, hey, Nick and Brian, thanks to you guys for, I'm quickly approaching the 1,000 milestone within 6 months. High five and fist bump to you for that. Says my videos are also ranking with the big boys and gals. So good job on that, Chad B. Love seeing that. So Brian, on the dog thing, any
yeah,
tips?
Yeah. What was the YouTuber's name on the dog thing?
Little Angel.
Okay, Little Angel. And a couple gamers keep spamming their Panda Gamings. Yeah, this is for you, Panda Gaming. So I've seen your comment 87 times, and I'm going to address you right now, and I'm also going to talk to Little Angel because it's always the same. And the thing you have to start with is, who is it I'm creating a video for? If you really don't know who it is, you're going to be far less likely to publish a video that person enjoys. And if you bounce around from one thing to the other thing, there will always be other people that are uploading the same kind of content that outperform you. Let me give you an example. If you've got a channel about dogs, but you also talk about cooking, when you upload a video about cooking, there are channels that have been uploading cooking videos for 10 years. They have a huge audience. They know their audience so well. They know how to really say the right things. They know when to present the food, when to eat the food, when not to eat the food, because they're so dialed into one thing. So that's why it's really important to have an audience. So if you've got a dog, you've got to stop and you've got to say, I've got my dog. I want to share my dog with the world. And that's what we want to do. And here's what's beautiful. This is a beautiful thing. I get teary. I'm going to cry. It just warms my heart. See, the thing is, you can do what you want to do, and you can also find an audience that wants to watch that. But you have to find that sweet spot in the middle. And if you don't take the time, it's going to take you 1,000 videos to publish one that does well, because you don't have any strategy. But instead,
you're relying on luck in that situation too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, the thing to think about with YouTube, you can literally stack the deck in your favor. And with so many little things, you can improve the odds that you break out. So first, again, is who is the audience? What can you do? What you can do is to go look at other channels that are kind of doing what you want to do, and study those channels and identify the videos the audience is really doing well, the videos that are doing well with the audience. The other thing you can do is really take a look at search terms on YouTube. If you've got a Chihuahua, which I heard from Nick, you've got a Chihuahua, then go in the search bar on YouTube and put in Chihuahua, or how to something about puppies or dogs. Really identify, what is it that people that have dogs or want to buy dogs or are interested in dogs or love watching videos about dogs, what do they want? And then think about, how can I create a video that stands apart? See, the thing is there are going to be 1 million videos on crate training for puppies, and you can make that too. But if you can make one that's a little bit better, a little bit different, then you're going to be more likely to stand out and get the results that you want. But like Nick said, here's the thing. It's like, when Nick started out, like, it really grabbed my attention that this happens so often. It's like,
they're saying in the chat that my beard's doing something weird on video. So I'm just like,
oh, yeah, it is. And people tell me I touch my face too much. Now listen, you should really listen to what I'm going to say when you go like this. Obviously, I look pretty smart. And anyway, but here's the thing. It's like, when I hear you're not uploading custom thumbnails, when I hear that there's black bars on the sides of your videos, when I hear that it sounds like you're just taking clips of your dog, and you don't have a purpose for the videos, it's just going to be so hard to grow. You've got to slow down and create a strategy that's going to allow you to break out. It's actually, let's do this. Pretend you're going to be on Netflix and make a video for Netflix. It's got to be awesome. Like it's not 2007 anymore. Like, that period is past. There are so many great creators. And like Nick likes to say, you got to come to play. You got to step up to the plate and like, look out. I'm either swinging out, or I'm going to connect. The bat is going to make this crack, and the ball is going to fly over the stadium, and the crowd is going to go wild. Hit the button, Nick. Nick, hit the button. No? Thank you.
I mean, that's barely
you really got to do that. And it's the same thing with the gaming channel. Like, you know, it's like, you really have to create a great video. That has to be the focus. The biggest YouTubers are always trying to create a great video. Okay, I'm good.
So real quick, Stunted Growth, thanks for the super chat. Says, hey Nick, recently found you. Your channel is really helpful, or has really helped. Would love a review of my basketball channel. So I'm not looking at channels today, just as a heads up. So thank you for the super chat, but today we're actually not looking at YouTube channels. Let's see here. Next up on the list is PHT Even J. And the question is, I upload for fun mostly. It's the goal. The question is it a good idea to redo older videos and thumbnails and re-upload? In my opinion, absolutely. And I'll give you an example of this, just using my channel because you watch my channel. So I'm like the second or third video, I think it might've been the third, on my channel was about naming your project because I wasn't focused on YouTube yet. So it was like, you know, how to name your project. And that video to date, I think has like 3,000 views on it. And I made a video after that about naming your YouTube channel. That one ended up doing like, okay, maybe I got like, you know, 5,000 views on it. And then I waited a year after doing that one. And it was one of those times to where I was like, you know, hey, I need to make a video. What's an easy video that I could make so that I can, you know, get it in the queue. And I was like, you know what, let's remake a name your YouTube channel video. So I remade that video like a year later after, you know, I got better at making videos, after I understood my audience more, like that kind of thing. And like right out of the gate, that video did much better. And I think to date, in comparison, that video's got like 50 or 60 something thousand views on it in comparison to the, you know, 3 or 5 that the other versions of it has. So, and I've also done other ones too that have also done, you know, similar. So, so remaking content is definitely something that you can do. And the reason that you don't want to think about it as I've already made this video before, so I should never make this video again, is because all of the people that are watching your YouTube channel aren't like, they haven't watched every single video that you have. And you have people that subscribed, you know, a month ago, 2 months ago, 6 months ago, that still haven't gotten through the content that you've put out this month. So because of that, you know, it's okay to remake videos from time to time. Now, some people, depending on the type of content, again, I know some marketers will actually just remake content. They start in like January, and then like January through the end of December, they literally have a schedule to where they make the same videos that they made the previous year because it worked and it continues to work. Other people will just kind of randomly remake stuff. That's what I do, where I'll randomly remake things and I'll try to put new twists on them and things like that so that they still resonate. There's still additional information in there and things like that. But in your particular case, I definitely am a big fan of remaking content, especially if you think that you can do it better, you think that you can rank in a better spot for it, you understand your audience in a way now that will help you create a better experience for them and help them get more value out of what it is that you're doing. Brian, what are your thoughts?
It's interesting because the last video I published, I guess that was yesterday. The video is about 20 hours old now, and it's how to borrow views from big YouTubers. And then the thumbnail says steal on it.
Nice. Nice.
And you can imagine it got a lot of clicks, and it was really, the whole premise was exactly what you're talking about, Nick. And it's going back and looking at your catalog of videos that are performing well and then remaking a video. And if you're like, well, I don't have any videos that are doing well, that's okay. You go out and you find a video that has a lot of views. And this is really important. So if you want to grow, then understand one of the fastest ways to get results right now is to leverage all the experience that a big YouTuber has that you don't. Because quite frankly, after you've published 500 videos, you know what are the things that will work when it comes to getting clicks, keeping people watching, and so on. And so you just find a video, but you really, really want to study the video. It's not enough to, a lot of people will ask, I made the same video with the same title. And it's like how you come across in the video, the things you say, the words you say in the first minute, the pacing of the video, how fast it is, how slow it is, depending on your audience. These are the things that really matter. And that was what my video was about. I really covered about 7 points of how to basically duplicate a successful video and win. And it's like, it's really powerful. And what's interesting is I took my biggest video from 2017, which has driven around 450,000 views. And I literally made the same video, the same thumbnail, the same title. And then I tweaked the content a little bit, but literally the first 30 seconds of the video, I say the same thing. And you know what happened? That video is driving 2,000 views a day. It totally works.
So D, and I'm referencing my brother, by the way, for those of you that don't know D, but basically D did the same exact thing. So he had a video on his list and he thought he marked it off, and he published it like, you know, a month prior or whatever it was. And then he came back, same title, same like information in the video, same, like it was the same video. He just accidentally remade it twice. Same exact thing happened. That second version, because he was better, the second version ended up doing better than the first version because he was able to put it together in a better way that people responded to more.
100%. Now the thing I want to mention this, and the question said re-upload. Don't ever take a video you've already uploaded and upload it again with a different thumbnail. Don't do that. You always, the thing to think about is, again, you're always striving to publish a better video. If you make that your mantra, if you're always trying to create a great video, then it doesn't really matter what you do. Because at the end of the day, the dirty little secret that no one talks about is that this is entertainment. Even if you're doing informational content, even if you're doing educational content, those that have the ability to entertain and educate are going to be better off. So make the video.
Motivation Theory Running says, for the beard more effect support group. Yeah, I guess it's still sparkling. I moved back a little bit to try to fix it. Maybe back here, maybe that'll work. I don't know. We'll get right up in it.
That's too much. Back off. Back off, please.
All right, too much. Okay, so next up on the list. Next up on the list is the relationship life says, if you're remaking a video, do you reference that there's an older version or pretend it's new? Should you take down the original one if there are changes? So no, just make the content like it's the content. There's no need to mention the other one. There's no need to make any reference to it or anything like that, because if they're watching the one video and it's pretty much the same type of thing in the video, then there's no real reason for them to watch the other one. So because of that, I wouldn't even cause the distraction by telling them that it's an updated version or anything like that. Now, one thing that you could do on the old video, if you have a video that performs better, then in that situation, what you could do on the old one is you could put a card on that one, and in your end screen and pinned comment and all that stuff that leads to the new version of the video. But I would never reference backwards. I would never reference backwards to a video that didn't do as well, just for the sake of, if you are referencing backwards, you want to point to videos that are proven performers for you, not to videos that people didn't respond well to. So because of that, I wouldn't reference backwards for a video that you've remade. Your thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, I'm really glad you said that. One of the things I see with new YouTubers is I see a lot of YouTubers that feel like they have to explain why they're doing something. Like I specifically
the worst is, hey, sorry guys, I haven't uploaded in a while, and this is what happened.
Like,
and
nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody cares. I saw a video. It was like the best 5 episodes of this show, and the YouTuber spent a minute explaining why these were her top 5, and it doesn't matter what you think. Like, nobody cares. Like, they already know it's your channel. You get to do what you want. The thing to focus on is really think about people that have never, ever watched your video before. Think about what is it that they want when they see the title and they see the thumbnail, and talk only about that, and that's it. You don't have to explain about why you're wearing the clothes you're wearing, why it's hot in your room. You don't have to apologize for the fan. You don't have to explain
for showing up late, or for not publishing. Like, oh, hey, I was supposed to publish on Tuesday, but it's Wednesday. I know you guys are waiting for my videos to come out on Tuesday, but here's what happened. I was coming home to publish my video, and I got a flat. And then I had to, I was trying to come into my place, but unfortunately something happened with it. My key broke, and I just couldn't get to my computer in time to upload it at the right time. And you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just wasting everybody's time. Yeah. Just
exactly.
Go for it.
Like, you've seen it too, Nick. Like, there's a lot of people, and it's like, it's human nature to talk about those things, but it's not a conversation like you're hanging out with your pal. It's a very specific video that you want to make. The more specific, the more you can stay on point. The more, oh no, you did not just say, let's support each other, small YouTubers.
Uh-oh, get him.
I will come right through the
screen. He will turn this car around right now. Yeah. So one thing I want to address out of the chat really quick is from Marius or Bellis. They say, does YouTube promote channels with all videos that are similar to each other more than variety? It's not that YouTube promotes the channel because it's similar content. It's that YouTube shows your content to a particular type of viewer that responds to certain types of content. So when your channel consistently puts out a certain kind of content at scale, every single time it puts out content that is for that certain type of viewer, every time that somebody from that group responds to that content, that's more people that it's sampling from, saying, hey, this particular person, they watched videos like this, they came into this video, they're enjoying this content, so let's find more people like them, show that video to them, and that snowball just keeps happening. That's why it's so important to focus on a particular type of viewer, so that you can make sure that you're making content that every single video that you put out, or almost all the videos that you put out, are something that they are likely to be interested in. Because the better you get at that, the more you're going to keep getting in front of the right people that are then going to click on your videos instead of hurting your click-through rate. They're going to enjoy your videos because they're going to get used to enjoying your type of content. You're going to learn over time how to make content that they enjoy more, and then you're going to be able to fine-tune everything it is that you're doing for that specific type of viewer, instead of having 10 different things that you're doing on your channel, or 20 different things, or just random content, to where you're getting in front of all of these different types of people. You can't even keep track of, hey, when I do this in this video for this audience, then these people respond to it this way, but when I apply that to this video for this type of thing, they don't respond to it that way. What should I do? And then you got to keep track of all of these different things, and then YouTube is showing your video to all these different kinds of people, and your channel doesn't become like a resource for anything. It's just like a big puddle of like stuff, instead of it being like a solid resource for people to come to for that particular type of content. And it doesn't matter if you're making comedy videos, if you're doing skits, then your channel is for people that enjoy watching skits. If you're doing, hair care videos, then your channel's for people that watch that type of content. If you're doing any type of how-to stuff, it's for people that like that type of content. If you're doing gaming content, you're basically trying to reach people that are into that specific game, or into the gaming content the way that you do it. Not just gaming content the way that you do it. Those are the people that you're trying to get in front of. So because of that, it's really important to know who it is that you're making content for, so that all of the efforts that you're putting out on your channel can be easily defined. And this comes down to not just making content, but this also comes down to the collaborations that you do, because it'll help define that. It also comes down to the products or affiliate things that you offer. It also comes down to any products you create yourself. It also comes down to any organizations you try to associate yourself with, or that you try to reach out to for collaboration. Like, let's say, for example, you just have a random variety channel doing a bunch of stuff. Then you are going to have a really difficult time finding a publication of some kind, like a blog, an industry blog, to where you can try to create a relationship there, to where they might share your stuff from time to time, because you just have this big wall of stuff, instead of having something specific that makes sense for them to send their audience to what it is that you're doing, right? So there's just so many advantages of having niche content compared to just doing random stuff.
So another question from Little Angel, and she mentions, I just feel so lost, because I guess it could be overwhelming and it's hard to know where to start. And what I would recommend, and I feel like a lot of people at some point in their YouTube career can kind of experience this feeling of overwhelm, and I just don't know how to make it happen or start. There's so much. And I want to share a few ideas, and then I'll bounce it to Nick. The thing to think about is, you can decide if you want to let go of the overwhelm and just focus on a few things. If you're not using thumbnails, that's a great place to start. Let go of everything else, because quite frankly, you really can't become a great video editor. You can't be great on camera. You're on your third or fourth or fifth video. You're not going to have the skills with editing or lighting. You might just film on your phone, and you might think, well, I don't have the right equipment. All of this stuff can add up and be overwhelming. But if you choose one thing and you say, you know what, for the next month, I'm going to continue to do what I do, but I'm going to focus on improving my titles, or I'm going to study keywords, or I'm going to really strive to improve the lighting in my videos, or the backdrop. Like, everyone that does well has a nice backdrop. If you focus on one thing at a time, it really removes that, and it will make it easier for you to actually focus, which is really important.
The relationship life with Steven, and on that, even really quick before I answer that question. So another thing with that too is, even focusing on like a few things, like if you're overwhelmed, just say, okay, this one thing, I'm just going to do this one thing for the next 30 days, or for the next 2 weeks, or for the next week. I'm going to focus on learning everything I can about this one thing. So when it comes to thumbnails, I'm gonna learn how to actually put thumbnails into my in front of my videos. I'm gonna learn that thing. That's number one. Number two is I'm going to learn the different websites maybe to where I can start making thumbnails that would be more attractive for people, or I'm gonna learn how to take better photos of my dog for my thumbnails. And then I'm going to learn an app on my phone that I can use, like Snapseed, that will help me make those thumbnails look more attractive, to where I can really make the image of my dog stand out. Because if you look around for like dog type content, the pictures that you're going to run across there and the imagery is going to be pretty competitive. So because of that, you need to learn that as well. So for anybody here that's just getting started on YouTube, there's a ton of stuff that will help you get better at what it is that you're doing, but you can't do everything at once, because in order to get to the next step, you have to in order to get to like the second step, you have to really understand what's going on in the first step in order to even see the second step, right? So because of that, it's really important to just focus on like a thing or two or a few at a time, so that you can get good at that. And by getting good at that, that will help you see what's next.
And I got to tell you, gang, when you do that, sky is the limit. I did that big time in 2018. I got to the point by the time I got to 2018 where I had been doing YouTube for a year. I published a bunch of videos. I went through the selfish period. I just want to have fun. And here's the thing, like I was good with I wanted the views, but I was good with like, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be cringy. I'm going to be goofy. A lot of people liked what I was doing, but I got to the point where I was like, okay, now it's for the audience. I want to grow. And from that point on, I started focusing, and I call it the looping method. And I would only focus on one thing until I improved. And I had to have a sizable improvement. I remember Nick and I did a collaboration, and Nick's brother D said, man, his audio sucks. And I remember talking to Nick about it, and I'm like, it's kind of wild. It's like, you didn't give me any crap about that, or you didn't get on me. And Nick's response was I knew that you were doing all you could. You were learning a lot. I could see a lot of growth, and that's where you were at. But I got to tell you, 6 months later, my audio was really strong. Like I get zero complaints on my audio, and I focused on my audio for probably 10 videos. There's a lot of small little things. Like this is the direction of a Blue Yeti mic. It's not facing up, it's sideways. All these little things. So when you do that and you keep improving, all of a sudden you can explode. Because by the time I got to 2019, wow, within 6 months, I went from 2,000 subscribers a month to 8,000 subscribers a month. And I did that through consistency and striving to improve. And, that's the thing that it's like, well, that seems hard. And it's like, but what's the alternative? Because it's so sad to see so many people on this hamster wheel. How do I get views? How do I get views? What should I do? I'm so overwhelmed. It's like, slow down and just try to do better. The thing about me and Nick is we are always creating. We do a lot of stuff you never see. Like I've been into these time lapses lately. I don't publish them on my channel, not yet, because I'm working it out. I'm learning. I'm striving to improve. And when you do that, I guarantee you will see results. Period.
Boom. The Relationship Life with Steven says, on my Relationship Life channel, my vids have been episodes. As an example, episode 25. Are episodes wise, or just make vids with no continuity? Any upsides or downsides? So what you want to think about is you want to think about how like a natural progression that people would go through if they're watching content, and then package it that way in terms of, hey, I've got this playlist, and this playlist is all videos that are based on this specific thing within relationship advice. So like this particular thing is like, I don't know, in relationship advice, I'm probably the wrong person for that to even make a reference. But and like when it comes to just being a content creator, putting content together in terms of packaging it for viewers to easily consume it, just put playlists together. And in those playlists, they're basically a series of content that people would most likely watch together, or that they would be likely to watch together. And then that's what you refer people to. In terms of making sure that every single thumbnail or every single title has an episode number in it, unless it's a legitimate episode, then it doesn't matter. So what I mean by a legitimate episode is if there is like a defined progression. Like if you watched Better Call Saul, for example, if you're watching that, like there's a progression that you need to go through in order to understand the story. So episode numbers in that situation would be important. If you watch my content, it's not important at all. because you can watch any one of my videos at any period of time. You don't need to watch any of the other videos in order to understand what's going on in that video necessarily, as long as I'm doing my stuff correctly. So because of that, in your case, as long as people can understand what's going on in your videos without having to watch others, then you don't need the episode numbers. But if it is required, like if you're taking people through a progression to where in order to understand what I'm talking about in video 12, you have to watch videos 1 through 11, then in that case, yeah, but I think you're going to be working against yourself there because people just don't consume content that way. Like YouTube will show 12 to somebody on the platform and they've never even seen your channel before. So because of that, packaging every piece of your content or basically creating everything that you're doing so that somebody that's introduced for you the first time doesn't have to see anything else that you're doing in order to catch up is really important. And the results that you get will show from that.
I want to add to that, like at the end of the day, think about someone that has never, ever seen any of your videos. They've never watched your videos and they see gameplay 72 Fortnite. That means nothing to that person. I guarantee it. People don't click on a video for episode 47. They don't care. Right. And quite frankly, if you don't take the time to figure out what they do care about and then create a title that is based on what they want, you'll struggle. And most video creators that I see doing this, episode 47 in their video title, are really killing their results by doing that. Because if someone doesn't care, there's no way they're going to click. If they don't click, you're decreasing your watch time. If you're decreasing your watch time, it's already so hard to compete against big YouTubers, right? It's really hard. A lot of people say, it's easier to be a big YouTuber, and that's correct. But at the same time, when you think about all the things that you're probably doing wrong, and I don't like saying that because I think learning is a process that we go through. But the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, if it's either right or wrong, most of the time, if you're adding like episode 47 gameplay, you're crushing your results. People are not going to click, and you're not going to grow. So don't do that.
And with that also might create the expectation that they have to watch something else in order to even know what's going on. So one just best practice thing though, for anybody that does put any type of like episode or vlog numbers or whatever, you put those in your titles, make sure that you're putting them at the end of your title, because the important stuff that people are going to respond to, you got to put that at the front, because you don't want to waste space in the front and risk cutting off the thing that's going to make somebody click on your video. So best practice wise, according to YouTube, you want to put any episode numbers or any channel names or any additional identifier like that at the end of your title. Matt Cooper says, great discussion, Nick and Brian. Looking forward to these every Saturday. Much love from Arizona. My mom's in Arizona. Stay safe. Mugetsu says, man, I'm loving this. I have a lot of questions, but you guys are doing a great job of answering my own thoughts. Love it, guys. Glad that you are enjoying the content. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. Femininity with Mama Gail says, why pay for paid YouTube or TubeBuddy? Are there perks? Is there a point when YouTubers should upgrade? Okay, it's a really good question. So in terms of paid YouTube, like if you should pay for YouTube Premium or not, that's personal preference, because the only difference there is you're just going to not see ads anymore. Like that's the only difference with Premium. And you get like additional content, that kind of stuff. When it comes to TubeBuddy and upgrading your TubeBuddy account, in my opinion, you should do that as soon as you have an understanding of, hey, I'm making these particular videos. I'm trying to either rank them in search, or I'm trying to get them in front of like a certain group of people that are interested in a certain thing. That's when you should upgrade your TubeBuddy account. And when it comes to upgrading all the way to like A/B testing your thumbnails and stuff like that, like the pro level stuff, you should be getting at least, I would say, like 500 to 1,000 views, probably 1,000 per video before you do that. Because when you are going through the process of A/B testing your thumbnails, you're going to have a certain amount of views for it to even matter, and in order to be, statistically significant. So because of that, you want to have at least a little bit of traction going. But the tool itself can help you as long as you dig in and you actually learn how to use it. the tool itself can actually help you get a good understanding of like how to title videos and how to go after topics that have a broader interest or that are easier to show up for compared to other videos and things like that. So for that, you should upgrade. But when it goes to like the higher level pro plans, I would wait until you get at least some views coming in, so that when you're running tests on your thumbnails and things like that, to make sure that the thumbnails that you're making are the most effective, that it's that you have enough data to actually work with. Because if not, you'll run a thumbnail test for like a month in order to get the data that you need, instead of being able to do it over the course of like a week or two. Next up, dude, Divide and Conquer says, what's the best way to get into recommended in something like gaming, and what would be better, search or recommended? So it's all part of a content strategy. So here's the deal. And I'll rant on this one for a second, and then Brian, you can have it. But like when it comes to search and recommended, both are extremely valuable. Like for example, a mutual friend of Brian's and I's, Primal Video, their entire channel is a search-based channel. Right now, they're clocking like 50-something thousand subscribers a month, right? And that's all based on search traffic. And they're getting, I think, like 4 million views per month or something, but it's all based on search traffic. My brother's channel, all based on search traffic, with the exception of some dark mode videos that are actually very high performing content for him. So when it comes to like search versus recommended, the majority of traffic on YouTube happens from YouTube's recommendation features, right? Because like right now, while we're having this conversation, for one specific search term, let's say the entire time that we've been live streaming, there's not one specific search term on YouTube, unless something is trending massively right now. There's not one search term on YouTube that is going to get, 1 million views while we are having this discussion. But there are videos that will get recommended while we're having this discussion that will get 500,000 or 1 million views before the stream's over. So because of that, the difference is when somebody's looking for something in search, there's a finite amount of people that are looking for that specific thing in search. But when things are getting recommended on YouTube, it can go really broad and go to, I mean, they've got 2 billion users that essentially you could tap into. Not all of them, but basically when it comes to recommendation features though, like it's a lot more people that have the potential to get shown a video. Now, in your case, because you're doing gaming content, everything changes, because now when it comes to YouTube and having like a viral gaming video, everything goes different, because now instead of it just being broad in general, now it's got to be broad in terms of it's being limited to the people that are interested in gaming content. Okay. So you're not just doing like entertainment content. Now it's just going for people that are into gaming content. So with that, recommendation features can also be extremely powerful. But here's the thing. When it comes to saying, I'm going to just go for search, or I'm going to just go for recommendation, it's really important to make sure that you know what it is that you're trying to get out of what it is that you're doing. It's also important when you're putting your videos together, before you even hit record, that you know the people that you're targeting with it, and that you know the source that you're targeting with it. And the reason for that is because when you know both of those things, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, then it helps you package your content in a way to get better results from that specific source. As an example, if you are targeting search, then of course you want to have your keyword or your keyword phrase in there, and then you want to have some type of compelling element, okay? And that compelling element is, in under 3 minutes, or, whatever it happens to be. But when it comes to browse, in that situation, if you're trying to tap into, or not just browse, but suggested too, but when you're just trying to tap into recommendation features, then you would just want to have a keyword by itself, or a phrase that a human would be like, oh gosh, I have to click on this in order to see what's happening in this video. Right. So the keyword phrase is to identify not necessarily a search term, but it's something that the person that would be interested in that topic would identify with. And then you add the compelling element. And then of course you can add audience identifiers and things like that to it in order to make sure that you're getting in front of the right people, and the right people are clicking on it. But when you are building your content, or you're packaging your content for the recommendation features, it can be a different approach. Now, one thing that you can do to level that whole thing up is you can actually package your content in a way to where you can benefit from both. So the way that you do that is that you would basically go after like a search term or a search phrase, and then you would put a compelling element in there, maybe put your audience identifier in there as well. And with those things, based on how you structure your title and how you put your thumbnail together, that gives you the opportunity to not only rank in search, but also get recommended. So then you get to tap into both of the sources instead of just saying this is only for search or this is only for recommendation. So there's a lot of nuance in what I just said, but you know, like as like a, you know, skimming the surface type of thing, like that's how you should look at, you know, should I make videos for search or should I make them for the recommendation features? Because the answer is yes. And it also comes down to your content, what you're trying to accomplish and all of that. But you need to put together a content strategy. And in a nutshell, all a content strategy is it saying these videos are for this purpose. And since they are for this purpose, this is what I'm trying to target, who and what it is that I'm trying to target with this batch of content here. This content over here is for this purpose. And because it's for this purpose, this is the audience and the traffic source that I'm trying to target for this particular thing, so that it'll be easier to accomplish whatever it is I'm trying to go after. As an example, if you are trying to make money from affiliate marketing, then targeting search is a really good thing, because in that situation, you are leaning on viewer intent when they come into your video, because people are actively searching for, like, let's say, because I just got the MacBook, like I was saying earlier. So let's say I'm looking for accessories for MacBook Pro. I'm looking for that because I'm considering if I find something that I like, I might make a purchase. So the people that are ranking for those particular terms, and they've targeted that because they're going to try to make affiliate commissions for those videos, because they're targeting that, and I'm looking for that. They're basically hopping in between me and a buying decision from a particular product that I might get introduced to. So the intent when I go into those videos is much higher, which then the probability of them converting me and other viewers into somebody that's actually going to purchase something from them is a lot higher, compared to if YouTube just shows me some random thing on a homepage and then I click on it there. The intent, I might be interested in it. I might be like, oh, this might be interesting, but I'm not actually looking for I'm not actually looking for accessories at that point in time. So I might find something, might buy it, but my intent isn't as high when it's getting presented to me versus me searching for it. So that's just a little bit of food for thought. Brian?
So for
I know I
me,
rambled on that one for quite some time, so my apologies there, but
Nope. Well, this is your show, so you get to kind of do what you want to do, just in case you forgot that part. Hey, real quick, I want to say hi to Ken, Adventures in the Dirt. Susie's here. Good to see you, Susie. Owen Videos stopped by. I think Owen still might be watching.
Owen Video!
Love the crew we have. The thing to really understand is I feel like there are a couple elements that are super important to this question, because it's a very popular question. And at some point, you're going to hear from a YouTube expert that the majority of views on YouTube flow through suggested videos. And when you hear that, you're like, that's what I need, because I don't have any videos. Most views are through suggested. How do I do that? Okay, that's great. But at that point, you're focused 100% on an algorithm. That's not bad, but if you're not also focused on the audience, you're going to have a hard time. The less you know about the audience, the harder the time will be, because you're not serving the audience you want to get in front of. Instead, what you can do, and actually let me go this direction first. Now let's talk a little bit about the likelihood that you can publish a video and rank in search, and then as you rank in search, drive significant views that will grow your channel. It's far more likely that you're going to succeed with publishing a video that ranks in search and then drives significant views to your YouTube channel and grows your channel, just because it's an easier thing to do. It's more likely that you can do that. The amount of YouTubers that can successfully place videos in suggested is very, very small. So the thing to say to yourself, okay, it's kind of like, imagine you're a gamer and you want to get to level 100. You want to go up against the boss. By the time you're going to do that, in order to do that, first, you have to go through the lower levels. The lower levels are YouTube search. If you can't compete in YouTube search, the likelihood that you can win in suggested, I would say forget it. You can't. I don't believe you can. So does that mean you're done? Not at all. Again, Nick just mentioned a channel that's driving 50,000 subscribers a month.
Yeah, 54, I think, is what they're up to. They're just crushing right now.
So think about that. So the thing that you might think is you might be in a position where you're not getting that many views. You're thinking, I'm kind of struggling to make it happen. I guess I need to do this other thing and that'll work. Well, really, I think what you need to do is get really clear on making great videos. And this is the second part, part 2. Instead of saying my content plan says that on Saturday I have to create a video for suggested, just make a good video. Strive to create a video that the audience really loves. There are always commonalities. That's similar aspects or similar elements between a video that does well in search and a video that does well in suggested. There's always going to be that compelling element. That's something Nick has mentioned a lot. What is that? It's the thing that makes someone click. So I made a video in 2019, how to get more views on YouTube in 3 minutes. And you know what? That video drove 400,000 views. Why? Because it wasn't like all the other videos on getting views. I promised how to do it in 3 minutes. Video got 400,000 views. So I created a similar version just a few days ago, and it's kicking butt. So that's the thing to focus on. If you simply focus on creating great videos, but at the same time, you continue to learn about the algorithm, then as you come up with great video ideas, because that truly is the first thing to think about. Just come up with a great video idea. Keep it simple. When you have a great video idea, then you're going to start like planning out your video. Come up with a couple key points, have bullet points to keep you on track, or write a script. However you want to do it, do that. And then as you're doing this, you're going to start thinking as you gain experience, is this more suited for suggested traffic? Okay, then how can I make that work? You've got to have a really catchy title. I published a video again in 2019. It was Tricks Big YouTubers Never Share. A perfect title for my audience. That video went on and did 200,000 views. Now, by the way, check this out. So my results, if you'd be happy with 115,000 subscribers, the video that did really well in search, 400,000 views and continues to drive views today. The video that did well in suggested, 200,000 views. So just start off by understanding you want to create a great video, learn about YouTube search, learn about being compelling, learn about your audience, and then as you're moving forward with crafting the video, really identify where you think the views are going to come from and then go in that direction. But the more you keep it simple and you focus on the audience, the more likely you're going to get what you want, because you're not after just, when you talk about an algorithm, it's more about you. You're going to think less about the audience. So that's kind of what I would say to that. And with that, I got to roll. I got to go. I got to leave right now, Nick. I got to go.
Brian G. Johnson, thanks for hanging out. Awesome as always. Be safe over there. All right. So now we will get, thanks again, Brian G. Let's get a hashtag Brian G. Johnson, or a thanks, Brian, for hanging out in the chat, or in the stream today. Awesome having Brian as always. So let's see here. So the next question that we have on the list, and I think that I missed some super chats as well. So give me 1 second. I'm going to hop in there really quick just to make sure that I got you covered there. Oh, and video. Okay, so I actually need to refresh this page. So the next question that we're going to get to here, and while this page is refreshing, is from Karma Cashflow. And Karma Cashflow says that they've been on YouTube. They upload 1 week or more. 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They do educational, teaching entrepreneurs how to make passive income online content. The goal of the channel is to get 1,000 subscribers. And the question is, could you give me some advice on how I could be more entertaining on my channel? I do how-to stuff, helping people to build passive income online, like kind of like Pat Flynn. And I personally feel like I'm boring. I have gotten nothing but positive comments and reviews on my channel, but I want to make it more entertaining. Thoughts? So when it comes to being more entertaining, I think it really comes down to just being comfortable. So a big thing that content creators have is they put on this persona of what it is that they think people will respond to or what it is that they think people might like, but that persona isn't necessarily the comfortable thing for them yet. And once you become comfortable with either the persona or just letting yourself out of the bag, so to speak, then what's going to happen is you're going to naturally drop in your ways that you entertain. You're going to say things that to where normally you'd be like, oh no, I can't say that in a video because people like it, they might think a certain way. You just won't care anymore. And you'll just start like doing you even more. So for example, like, let's see here. Like I was talking about before, like with using bullet points, right? Bullet points for scripting. So a similar thing with that is like when you're using scripts, like you're just super like mindful and making sure that you're saying everything perfectly. But then when you go bullet points, you're communicating in a more natural way. So when you are communicating in a more natural way, just like if you were hanging out and like talking to a buddy, you might say things in a certain way because you're communicating just how you communicate that will make you come across more entertaining. You would put more, emphasis on something, or you would, highlight something a little bit more because it's how your brain is working naturally instead of having that script that you're working off of to where it was great while you were writing it out, but when it's actually time to do the script, you've forgotten, the nuance of what you were thinking when you were putting the script together. So I think that just going with bullet points would be helpful. And I think that really just comfort and just being confident in what it is that you're doing and being confident in not your ability, but being confident in what you're doing enough to say, you know what, I'm going to just be myself, whatever that means. If people dig it, they dig it. If they don't dig it, then that's fine. Maybe I can like pull it back a little bit once I find out. But like, I'm just going to be myself, and I'm just going to put the best version of myself out there, and I'm going to go that route. And if that means I'm throwing in jokes from time to time, or I'm just kind of trailing off in my thought and then bringing it back in, whatever it happens to be, do that. Like however you would interact with a friend, do that in your videos. And by doing that, that will help you be more entertaining and just help you be more connectable, so to speak, to where when people are watching you, you're building up that parasocial relationship with them because they can relate to you because you're communicating with them in a way that they resonate with. You're communicating with them as a human and not a scripted robot, so to speak. And again, I know scripts are fine and required in some cases, but I'm just saying, like experimenting with bullet points, at least for some things, script a couple lines and then throw in like a bullet point and kind of freestyle that and then script a couple more lines and kind of wean yourself off of scripts is another approach to that. But I really think that that just going with bullet points can be very, very beneficial for all of those things. Blast Away says, keep up the good work, Nick. Love you, brother. Thank you for that, Blast Away. Ladies and gentlemen, very special guest I would love to introduce you to. We have the man, the legend, Owen Video in the house. What is going on, Owen? Sleeping again. What is going on? Nice to see you, Owen, hanging out. Dude, what is up?
Wow, so good to be listening to this show this morning. My lights are a little bright. I'm just kind of waking up, but incredible content you're spitting it. It's 8:22 a.m. on the West Coast here, but you're crushing this morning, my man. Crushing.
Good to hear, man. Good to hear. How are things over there on the West Coast, man? You staying safe? Everything like rocking and rolling over there?
Safe. We're in day 37 of quarantine. I haven't seen the daylight in 14 hours, but I feel pretty good about it. The demons have gone away. But other than that, we're really good. We launched, I think, 6 channels this month. And
nice.
That's really exciting. I'm learning a ton just uploading videos right now. And it's like, for those of you guys that have never seen me before, I've been uploading for 4 or 5 years. I'm that quintessential, how can I get better guy? But I've got like a family over here. I've got a business over here. And it's just always trying to like maintain that. But I'll tell you, what you were just saying.
Hey, you just muffled. You just went muffled.
Oh, did my?
Yep.
Sorry,
there you go.
Is it working now?
Perfect. Perfect. So, Owen, I just want to bring back to something, if you don't mind, real quick. Yeah. So there's a lot of new content creators here in the chat. They are just getting started. Maybe they're thinking about launching a YouTube channel. You just launched 6 in the past month. What do you recommend to people that are launching a YouTube channel or just getting started on YouTube?
Oh my gosh. So content strategy is really big. I learned a ton right now from you guys thinking about like search versus suggested versus content that's really the content you want to make. And there's such a strong connection there. And so before we make any videos, and this is dangerous information, because largely you want to say just make videos. But before we make any first initial videos, we talk about what we're going to make. What are the legs of our table, right? If you're going to start a gaming channel, what are the legs on which that gaming channel is built on? And you've got to sort of, build videos around that. So a cooking channel, for example, I said, hey, well, what type of cooking do you want to do? And it came out to, we want to do really fun stuff, by the way. We came out to like, we want to do recipes that single people can enjoy, not just like, oh, here's something for the whole family, right? So recipes a single person can make. Versus, how fun is this? My mom's cinnamon rolls versus my aunt's sweet potato pie, and then they're going to do like a versus championship. And so these are great. These are great, like silos, I guess we would call them, or legs. And then you come up with a whole bunch of titles underneath that. So you always have something to film, and you're never in this place of, oh, I'm running out of video ideas. So that's, I think, the biggest thing.
Nice. So just to kind of nutshell that up, have a plan. Have a plan, know who it is that you're after, know the type of content that you're going to make, because you clarified, hey, this example, it's single people that it's like meals for single people, right? Instead of meals for whole family. So know who it is that you're making content for. Topically think, okay, what topic what videos can we make that's going to add the most value to the people that are looking for meals for single people? And then write a humongous list, as big as you can possibly imagine, in terms of like all the ideas that you can come up with on possible ideas that you can make videos for. So excellent.
We did a conference in Chicago. Anyone from Chicago? I love that town. Nick, have you ever been to Chicago?
The Windy City?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there twice. I actually have a really funny story about Chicago that's inappropriate for this live stream. Really funny. Oh, really funny. But needless to say, I probably better not go there. But yeah, because I marked it for like, inappropriate language and topics and all that stuff, to where it's like safe on that thing when you're coming in. So because of that, I can't talk about it. Maybe another live stream if I mark it inappropriate.
a late night conversation of some kind. But I was in Chicago, and I was teaching a group of like brands how to do YouTube. And the biggest thing was, I can't come up with any ideas. We're like a stroller company. Like, how do we make videos about strollers? These types of things. And so we ran through a process, and it's called the 5 W's. It's who, what, why, where, when, and how to. And I know that that's 6, and I know it's an H, but just go with me on this because it could be really beneficial.
I'm riding along.
But you start with like, who are the big stroller providers? Who are the best stroller companies in America? Who are the biggest stroller brands for socialite parents or whatever, you go through the who list, right? And then you go through the what list, like what is a stroller, and what is a blobbity blue handlebar when it comes to a stroller. And the what section is where you can do a lot of branding, because you can throw a lot of your made up words, like some of the words that you use, into your mix there. But then you go through the 5 W's and you end with how to. And if you just do that systematically, I've seen people in like 35 minutes come up with 117 different titles right there on the spot. But I feel like I have a huge content list. We worked on a piece yesterday called How to Be More Entertaining on Camera. And having that list to go to on Wednesdays is so helpful for me, because I know I have space on Wednesdays. And so Melissa, who's my producer, she goes, hey, let's film, boom, this one. She can just pick any title, and we can just film it right there. So having that big list of titles is just massive.
Yeah, it really is. And just, like one thing that I recommend, like for everybody watching this right now, one thing I recommend is like on your phone, or like if there's an app on your phone, just dedicate that specific app to video ideas. Like if you have like a note app, like if you have one that you use like for your normal stuff, use it for your normal stuff, unless you just put a folder in there that's video ideas. But just dedicate one app, or at least a folder within an app that's nothing but video ideas. If you don't do that, then having a like Google Doc, have like a Google Drive account, it's free. Make a folder in there that's just called video ideas, and you just keep dropping Google Docs in there, video ideas that you can flush out later. That's another thing that is really beneficial. And the reason for that is because really good video ideas can hit you at any time. So you have the list of where you sit down and you hammer them out, but then you also have the ones where you're laying in bed or you're in the shower and you're like, oh God, that would be so good. I hope I remember to write that down. Like those, you want to be able to grab your phone and put those in there really, really fast.
What do you use?
I use notes inside of the Apple note thing. I use that when I'm on the go, and then when I get home, I'll transfer them into Google Docs.
Yeah.
So I'll have I have a Google Drive, and it's just basically like in video ideas is the name of the folder, and I mean it's ginormous. Yeah. And it comes from things like, for example, in this live stream, for everybody that's asking questions, because we got to get back to the questions, and I hope you're ready. I hope you got your question or your answer hat on, Owen. But like with these, but like with all these questions that come in, these are also great sources of video ideas. So all the live streams that I've done for the last like year and a half, 2 years, I've had this form, and I'm collecting all of these ideas to where I can go in there. And I'm like, ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm pulling them from my comment section. So it's like being able to just grab all of those and organize them in a good spot, regardless of the type of content that you're making. You'll have an audience member that's like, hey, you should make a video about this. Be able to capture that and toss it somewhere is really valuable.
You've always been like the smartest YouTuber that I know. It's true.
Let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away.
It might be the Baileys talking. I mean, the Folgers. I'm not drinking, everybody. I'm not. What was the next question?
Yeah, I don't know. It was something about like giraffes, but I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure it out. Says, okay, so the next question is from the Relationship Life. Says, do you have any suggestions to break the habit when scripting, especially in live videos? When it comes to live, sometimes you're just going to say it. So the only thing that you can do is you can monitor your brain as you are communicating. And sometimes as soon as you get distracted from monitoring, those will start popping out from time to time. You'll notice in some of my streams, I'm trying to not say and because of that, the streams will be cleaner. Other ones to where I'm just doing whatever. In those particular streams, then you'll hear dropped all the time. So being mindful of it and making the effort to not say is what you should do. Like I just said, So a little tip is you can just take a Post-it or something and put it underneath your camera lens that just says And just by doing that by itself, you're going to constantly see it. You're going to constantly be reminded that you are not wanting to say and that will help you with that by itself.
Can I jump in on that one too?
Absolutely.
Like formatting. So we're going to be doing a whole bunch of these videos on our channel. And it's a challenge, Nick, because nobody's really searching for how to format your YouTube videos. And so we go back to like that being in suggested versus search thing. It's a tough thing. But we're going to be doing a lot more videos on formatting because that's sort of my background in TV and radio. And every single minute of airtime has to be accounted for, right? There's never a time where the director of a TV show or a film goes, let's just wing it from here, and then we'll get to lunch, guys. We'll call it a wrap. But every single minute has to be accounted for, which means you're accountable to your ums. So having a format, I think, will really, really help you. I'm not talking about a script. Okay, I'm talking about like a structured sort of frame.
Like this is what you do next.
Yes, like start with like one hook. And you just do the hook until you get the hook right? And we film in a way, we call it bursting. So with bursting, I look at my notes. I rarely write scripts, but I look at my notes, my bullet points. And then I'm okay. Hey, everybody, today we're going to focus on ABC, so stick around. Right. And I burst it to the camera and then that's cut. Right. And we got the next piece. So step 2, my introduction. Hey, it's Owen at thevideospot.net. We're here to have a great time today. Got that. And then it's my setup. Okay. And I'm going to set up the scene. So I find that really helps. It's like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. And here's the thing. You're going to have like a different framework. And you know this, Nick, like you're going to have a different framework for going live. You're going to have a different framework for a 7-minute video than you are going to for a 30-minute video because you got to fill up different minutes. Q&A videos, unboxing videos. And so we're going to share our formats with everybody over the next like 6 months on the channel, like how to do an unboxing video, how to do a product review video. But it all comes down to like that same sort of like 5-step or 7-step framework that starts with hook the audience and ends with send them to another video.
And I think when it comes to and saying a lot, I think that when you are prepping like that and you know what it is that you are going to be doing next, it helps you know that next step instead of being stuck in that moment of, what do I do now? What is it that I do now? I have people watching me. Let's see here. I was next going to, right? Because then you know exactly, hey, okay, that's done. Now I move on to this particular thing and I start going through that.
Is a factor of brain moving too fast and not enough content to back it up. It's like a burp. It's like, You know, like you just too much stuff going through the pipes. And I think that we say we're moving fast because we're afraid people are going to click off the video. And so you got to say everything as fast as you can. I struggled with this I think I just stopped struggling with this like 4 months ago. I have struggled with this for so long. But really the thing is, can you get people to slow down? Is your content good enough to slow people down? And we call this future pacing, is sort of like what the technical media term is, you know? But the whole idea is you bring them in on, hey, this is going to be YouTubey for sure, a YouTube video that you're going to love. Stick around. And then as they're watching, now you can like slow it down a little bit. Like be like, hey, I'm so glad that you're here because today's topic is so important. You're going to want to actually sit down on your couch. You're going to want to turn off your alarms and turn off your phones and pay attention to what's going on. You know who does, and you're slowing them down. You're future pacing them. So you show them that you're going to do this, what they're expecting, and then you're going to get that watch time and get them into a place where they really like you. Brian's hooks, where he's like, in a world where fat cat YouTubers, you know, eat the rich. You know, he does these really great, like ominous openings. And I think that they're so clever and they seem to be working. So don't worry, I think, everybody, about like, oh, they're going to click off. You want people to like you for you and not just because you crammed it all in 30 seconds.
And another thing to think about along those lines too is it's also really important, and we always come back to this. It's always really important to make sure that you understand who it is that you're making content for also. Like if you're making content for an older demographic, then you might want to be a little bit slower right out of the gate, because for them, they're like, hey, like I'll get comments on in my comments of my videos of people that are like, hey, this, you know, like you need to slow it down, and, you know, things like that. And they're not really, you know, like, of course I want to, you know, help everybody with the content, but it's like, if they can't keep up, then it's kind of like, okay, that's fine, you know, because everybody else can. But, you know, like I do get those comments where people are like, hey, you're talking too fast. But if they were primarily who it was that I was trying to target, I would take that and I'd be like, all right, I'm slowing it down. Because these particular people are, you know, the people that I'm trying to reach aren't digging the speed. The same exact thing goes for the language that you're using in your videos. You know, when your video starts up, you know, hey, what's up, fam, blah, blah, blah. You know, if you're trying to reach a certain demographic, that's fine. If you're trying to reach another one, that's completely unacceptable. They will click off your videos immediately. So being mindful of who it is that you're trying to reach and making sure that you're, one, making content that you want to make and you're communicating in the way that you want to communicate is important. But you also want to keep in mind the people that you are trying to reach and make sure that you're communicating with them at a level that will resonate with them as well. Super important. So really quick, Poke Rev says, hey, Nick, love your streams. Thank you. Says, does the YouTube algorithm treat live streams the same as regular uploads? My best videos for views are from streams. Also, do you make your privates after your stream ends? So in terms of live streams compared to video content, one thing that I really want, and I use this as an example since they've been doing it because I think it's a great comparison. When it comes to how YouTube shows content to people, what matters at the end of the day above everything else, regardless of the type of content it is or whatever, regardless of how long the video is, how short the video is, regardless of everything else, is how people respond to that piece of content. So if it's a live stream and it's structured in a way and it's presented in a way to where it's great on the replay, then that video has a chance to do really well. That live stream has a chance to do really well. If it's a mess, because there's not structure to it, it's kind of all over the place, kind of like the live stream that you're watching right now, then in that situation, the replay, even though it's packed with value, the expectation that people have when they're clicking on things on YouTube, it's not there because it looks like a live stream. It feels like a live stream. I've got like 10 minutes of introductory stuff that I go through before the content even starts. Now, in contrast, if you look at the video influencers YouTube channel, their live streams are packaged like a video. So the live replay on theirs, it makes a ton of sense. It looks like a video. It sounds amazing. It's optimized for search. It's optimized for discovery. It's got a custom thumbnail for every single live stream. They don't do a repeat like I do because it's not made for a hangout. It's made to be focused around sharing information around a specific topic, just like a video is. So theirs, great for the replay. It's packaged like a video. They're basically recording a live video. That's what they're doing. And then with these live streams that you're watching right now, these are more of a hangout. This is a place where you can come and just hang out, learn about a bunch of random stuff about YouTube, have, you know, some laughs, all that good stuff. But it's not great on the replay in terms of somebody that's never been exposed to my content before. if you've never watched my stuff, you don't know anything that I talk about, and then you come in and you're introduced to my live stream and you're looking for some type of value, you're going to leave because it takes me 10 minutes to even get into the actual content of the live stream.
Yeah.
So, so it's really important to think when it comes to live stream versus videos, it's really important to think of that response, because that's what matters. It's also important to think about what viewers come to your channel for. So as an example, if you have a tech channel and people come to you for your opinions about tech, and then you have a live stream to where it's just you and your dog, and you're talking about your dog and your thoughts on sports, some people that are into you as a content creator will enjoy that. But as a whole, if your audience at scale comes to you for tech, they're not going to care about your opinions on sports and how old your dog is and what type of dog breed and things like that. Like, that's not going to resonate with them.
No.
So because of that, your live streams might suffer. The replay value on those is going to suffer because YouTube is going to try it to show that live stream to people that have already been interacting with your channel, because they're proven to enjoy the content that you put out. So YouTube shows your sports/dog content to them, and it just doesn't resonate. And then therefore, because the response isn't good, that video is going to tank.
Thanks.
So it's really important to just think about, okay, the people I'm trying to reach, the experience that I'm giving them through my video content and through my live content, how is that while I'm live, and how is that on the actual replay? Owen, any additional thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's such a great timing right here, because I love live video. We have 2 very successful live stream shows on Facebook. They get hundreds of live viewers and thousands of views every single week. But Facebook is not YouTube, and that's really, really important. I have 3 quick stories I'll tell about a YouTube live specifically. Okay, somebody in the comments asked earlier, how many channels does Owen have? I have 3 of my own, but I manage channels as a business. And so right now we have 12 channels that we're managing. Great stories happening with live there. Okay, but I'm going to go back first to my marriage and family channel. I started a marriage and family channel called Them Hemsaths with my wife and my kids. And it was going to be a family vlog. Struggling to get traction on SEO type things. Did a live stream on our mobile device with like 13 subscribers, and boom, video soars. Here's what we did. We filmed a video with like 10 minutes of intro, just kind of like, hey, everybody, we're here with our kids. Da, 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 da. We ended up outside talking about spanking and our feelings as parents on spanking. What we did was trimmed that video to like that conversation, and the video did incredibly well. You can do that in the YouTube editor. All right. So that's one testimonial for live video, helping a channel to catapult. Another testimonial, Karen, one of my clients is a YouTube realtor. Okay. So she is producing videos, pre-recorded, 7 minutes, real punchy, real high energy. And they are on the journey. It's really great to see those videos grow. She starts doing live using the structure that we were just talking about, where it's like hook, intro, and you know my intro structure, Nick. Like, we did a podcast together for years.
Yeah.
So followed that same type of structure. Her live streams on YouTube right now today are dwarfing her pre-recorded material. Again, though, structure. Like, when somebody logs in, it's not, are we live? Is it on? Are we live? You know, I hate that. You're going to lose people. And if you do that, trim that, right? Last case, most embarrassing. So I went live on YouTube. I've been going live again. I know it's been a while. I feel like Rocky 8. You know, I'm Sylvester Stallone, like limping out into the ring again to win another fight. You know,
you're in Russia training in the snow. Yeah, in your sweats in the snow, toughing it out. Yeah,
dude, Killer's rock music is playing in the background. You know, it's an amazing way to live. You know, I go live on YouTube twice in the last 2 weeks, and they tanked. They absolutely tanked. And I'm following the same process that my client is following. So, you know, I really think that there's so many things to it. You have to really experiment with live and try it. Make it sort of like a thing you're going to do for, I don't know, the 3rd week of every month for 3 months, you're going to go live, you know, and you're just going to give it time to see if it works for you. I think a lot of people, they go live once and it was either good or bad and they decide everything based on that. It's like, well, you know, it could have been an anomaly. Like, do it a couple times and see if your audience resonates with it. It could be a hit or a miss, but when it hits, it's really beneficial. So some thoughts on live.
Dr. Sten, what's up, dude? Nice to see you in here. Heidi, Costume CO, nice to see you here as well. Daughters of Haddish, nice to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Dayo, what's up? Nice to see you here. Scully's House of Thrillers, what is going on? Nice to see everybody coming in, hanging out, rock climbing. Grandma, what is up? Okay, so next question that we have here on the list, because we got Karma Cash Flow taken care of there, is from Hoosier Daddy, Food and Travel. Best name ever. First time I heard it, I did the same exact thing, Owen. I was like, Hoosier Daddy? Excellent. But it's Hoosier.
Yeah.
Hoosier Daddy. Like Indiana Hoosiers.
Indiana.
Right?
Yeah. So
yeah. Hoosier Daddy. Love it.
We have the YouTube like channel name awards. That's what we should have.
Yeah.
We're starting.
Whiskey Dictionary, still my all-time favorite. Still my all-time favorite. Yeah. Okay. So the question here from Hoosier Daddy Food and Travel, they have a food, restaurant, and travel videos. They do food challenges and tasting. Awesome. The goal of the channel is ultimately, I would like to do food and travel reviews full-time while traveling the world. And the question is, how important is engagement with your audience? I'm still a small channel, so I respond to everyone. I also watch channels who respond to me. I realize this is more difficult the bigger that you get. How do you handle that? And why doesn't YouTube notify you every time you get a new subscriber or comment? Is there a way to change your settings? As of right now, it seems pretty random. Sometimes I get notified of a comment, sometimes I don't. Okay, so when it comes to the comments and the notifications for the comments and the subscriptions, that is in your YouTube settings. You can set that up. In terms of how to manage that, it's a serious thing. Yeah. So basically, when it comes to responding to your comments on YouTube, if you're trying to grow a community, then making sure that you are responding to people is important. As your channel grows, then there's something called, some people call it like the power hour and things like that, to where, or focus hour, to where basically like after you publish, then for like an hour or two, whatever, just for the time shortly after the video publishes, you're interacting with your community at that point in time. And that does a couple of things. One, the Nerdy Lady, thank you for the super chat saying, love your streams, always great, full of info. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. But when it comes to that engagement though, like as your channel scales, definitely it becomes a lot more difficult to manage, and answering comments can become like a full-time job for you as a content creator. Especially like if you're getting tons of views, like let's say that you're a channel that's getting like, you know, like 10 or 20 million views a month, answering comments is just unsustainable. Like it's just not sustainable. You might have to have like somebody help you answer comments. But the thing with answering comments and having that engagement is, one, personally, I like to do that because it lets people know, like I enjoy people having their comments answered because it lets people know that their thought was, that the effort that they put in to leaving a comment didn't go ignored. It didn't go unrecognized. So because of that, I like for people's comments to get a reply. Even if it's like a heart, or if it's an emoji, or if it's just a, hey, you're welcome, or a fist bump, or whatever it happens to be. I just like that to happen because it lets people know that that their effort that they put in wasn't ignored or whatever. I personally have put comments on YouTube channels asking for things. You know, like, hey man, I'm trying to figure this thing out, whatever. And you know, like I didn't get a heart, didn't get a reply, didn't get nothing. And it was like on a fresh video too. And I was like, oh, it's kind of a jerk move. There was like 3 comments and I was one of them. 3 comments, I was one of them, and I didn't get a reply. So, you know, because of that, I just try to, you know, make sure that people get replies when possible. But the way to manage it is the YouTube Creator Studio app on your phone, the TubeBuddy app on your phone. You can actually build canned responses into that. And what a canned response is it's basically where you fill out common things that people say. You fill out your common responses to it so that you can just select that instead of having to write like this whole thing every single time somebody says it. You can refer people to videos using that and things like that. But basically having it built into your phone to where you can answer comments easily, and just dedicating some time to it. But you also have to prioritize, am I adding more value to people answering the comment that they left on my video, or am I adding more value to them by making another piece of content that will entertain them in some way, or, you know, lift them up, or whatever type of content it is that you have. Owen, what are your thoughts on comments?
Really good. Couple thoughts, and I got to jet because my parole officer is here.
Okay. You still got that thing on your ankle?
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you, 10 feet and it zaps you. I mean, you have no control. Like I lost control of my
Well,
bowels earlier, and it's just
yeah.
it's still getting better. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Every day. But
Yeah.
you know, so here's the thing about engagement is you want to try to impact engagement on every single video. And again, we have a whole new series coming out. I'm so excited about it, where we're going to talk about how to structure a video for maximum engagement. But here's what we're teaching in that video is lower thirds. I assume the audience knows what a lower third is.
Explain it just to be safe.
So
a lot of new content creators in here, a lot of new video makers. So
Yeah.
the terminology, anytime it can be explained, definitely
really
explain
good.
it out.
If you guys are new at this, you need to look up 2 keywords, and that's video framing and video composition. Okay, those are really, really important. Like, where should the eyeballs be on the screen? You know, you noticed earlier that when we started the video, I was over here. But I noticed, like, to be in frame, I had to be here. And my eyes specifically are on the top 1/3 of the screen. This is the lower 1/3 of the screen. So a lower third is like a digital graphic that pops up on the lower 1/3 of the screen. It's typically like your name, right? Nick Nimmin, welcome to the Nick Nimmin Show. But we've added lower thirds into our content strategy that say things like if you agree. And I actually invented this years ago when Nick and I were doing some stuff together. You were making my lower thirds. You were making like video training elements for me. And so we made like this if you agree. We put a comment below if. And what that enabled us to do was ask the audience to engage without me having to say anything. So, for example, I'd be watching the cut of the video and I would say something like, you know, the lower third is the most important part of the video. And the lower third would pop up and would say, if you agree, quote, you know, lower thirds are very important. And what that did was increased our likes 317%. Okay, so anytime that you can impact engagement is a good thing. Anytime where you can influence someone to go from a mind connection where they're just watching you to a body connection where they're actually tapping on the phone and doing something, that's really, really strong. As you're able to impact that, you're going to get more comments and you're going to have to engage more. And so having auto responses is very, very important. Look, you're going to get responses that are like, you know, please help. I need help with my thing. And what's your answer going to be other than great, more videos coming. I hope to see you there, you know, and you should type that in auto responses. And whenever you get those types of comments, just put like, thanks for your comment. Well, can't wait to see you on the next video. And so it looks like you care, but there's also this automation feature to it. You know, for the bigger comments, like the comments that are like thoughtful, you know, and the comments that are reaching out to you, that's where I think you should spend more time. And I think that one of the big mistakes I made early on in my career was not responding to those comments because I'm way too popular to answer all of these comments. You know, that's the mistake I made. And I would encourage you guys to like prioritize your comments, right? Comments you don't respond to. And then comments you sort of give a canned response to, and then comments that you're going to actually engage with your time. And here's what that does is it influences your audience to leave more thoughtful comments, right? It programs them that you do engage at a certain level of engagement. And I think that that's really, really important. So manage your time with engagement, but also do little things in your videos that get more engagement so that you can say, I'm an influential person on my channel. So that's my
another thing too with comments is now YouTube has the smart replies. So like they're even taking some of that work out to where you can just go in if you're on a computer to where you can go in, you can just be like bam, 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 to where you can hit it, you know, a lot faster for the things that can be responded to with a smart reply. And I think that's an awesome feature just to help, you know, help you guys, help all of us manage our comments.
Notifications have never been good on YouTube. I've been on YouTube for 6 years. It's never been good. So, you know, I think that you have to be really proactive and like, it's like waiting for YouTube's notifications to get better. Don't do that. Instead, check notifications on a regular basis. It's hard for me too, because it's so wonky. Like Instagram pops up on my phone, right? Like Twitter pops up on my phone, but YouTube rarely does. So you got to make an effort to go in there, check them, and then respond, you know, as such. Have a system for it though. You know what I mean? Don't waste your time on every comment. Nick, I love you. Hey, everybody. Thanks for putting up with me for.
And where can they find you?
Yeah, check out the channel at Owen Video. We're going to be uploading a ton of new content on how to structure video, how to be influential in your video, how to be more entertaining and charismatic on camera. A lot of that stuff's coming up on the channel. So good stuff is on the way. And I hope you guys will join me. I can't wait to meet more of you.
Owen, thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it. For everybody that's watching this right now, so basically there's like a week delay. So so Owen's link, of course, he just told you where you can find him if you just look for Owen video on YouTube, but his link will actually be in next week's video in the description, but I'll tell you to go down there next week also. So
nice. You're actually in my video. In fact, there is a very funny bit of you and me in the next video coming out on Monday. So I'm excited for you to see that. It's going to be good.
Now I'm afraid.
All right. Yeah, you should be. No, I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. I'll see you guys. Great to be here.
All right. See you, Owen. Thanks for hopping on, man. All right. So now we are going to get into more questions. I like how this looks from this angle. What do you think of this angle? Hey, let's see here. Horoscopes. Jenny the Medium Latina says, I did lives once and I lost 20 subscribers. Every single time I go live, I lose subscribers. My live streams are typically like I create like a subscriber deficit every single time that I go live. So I go in the negative with every single live stream almost. So I feel you. But the purpose that I do these for, I don't care. Like if people are coming in and they're like, hey, here's Nick's live stream, I don't want to be a subscriber anymore. That's fine. I don't care. Because I'm doing this for the sake of, hanging out with you and for the sake of, answering questions specifically outside of just putting out video content. So if somebody wants to unsubscribe for that, that's fine. Ratty Star, what's up, man? Nice to see you in here. Jonathan O'Rear, hello again. Okay, next question that we have, so we can get back to the questions here, is from Jal JX. Jal JX says that they've been on making videos for a year or more on YouTube. They have a music piano channel. The goal of the channel is to help people learn songs on the piano and grow my brand. And the question is, I've been doing YouTube for 8 years, recording everything and making thumbnails all by myself, but I'm growing so slowly at 2.5 thousand subscribers. I've been uploading every morning, afternoon, and night since the quarantine with high value and no other creators uploading, but my growth is still slow. How do I get more noticed and reach higher numbers? It really comes down to packaging your content in a way that people respond to in terms of your title and thumbnail, getting people to watch your videos for a fair amount of time, and of course, getting them to further engage and getting them to come back to the channel. So considering you just started doing this and you just started putting out content, you mentioned that you're doing videos like every morning, noon, and night. Just as a heads up, there are 3 notifications that YouTube will put out for your channel per day. But I do want to let you know that by putting out that much content, you are competing with yourself on home pages and recommendation features just in general. So just be mindful of that. It can be fine. It absolutely can be fine because you're constantly, up there for different things. So if somebody doesn't click for one thing, they might click on another. But I just want to let you know that you are competing with yourself in that situation. Professor Nez in the house. What is up? Saying good morning from the West Coast. But it really does come down to packaging your content in a way that people will respond to. I'm actually going to look at your channel here. And I'm just going to see what I see from the outside and just see if I can give you like a quick tip based on what I'm seeing here from the outside. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so right here, what I see from the outside is I see right out of the gate on your channel page, like you're like, I just see old content. So like your new content isn't even showing up on your channel page. So anybody that does come to your channel, if they come looking for new stuff, like they can't even find it. And I'll turn this here. Let me turn this just so you can see what I'm talking about while I'm looking at it. So yeah, so here on the channel, like as this is here, like basically these playlists right here on his channel, they are, none of them are new. None of them are recent from the channel there. So another thing as well is, I'll be honest with you, like the stuff, like you put this out 3 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 3 hours ago, you're using the same thumbnail template and you are using like the same title structure. If that's not working for you, change it. I know it sucks to hear, but if it's not working for you, you need to change it. Because if you are doing something repeatedly 3 times a day and people aren't responding to it, then they're not going to magically just start responding to what it is that you're doing. So if they're not responding, you need to go in and start experimenting with different ways to do your thumbnails and things like that. Like you actually have to where like a day ago you did something different, and then like a day before that you did something different, but it looks like you have like 3 templates that you're trying to use. And with all 3 of these templates, none of them are getting a response. So definitely keep experimenting. You're also putting out videos like you have one video here, 13 seconds long. You're wasting time with that video. Don't do that. As I scroll up the page here, a video that you put out 3 hours ago is 37 seconds long. Your ability to generate watch time from a video that's 37 seconds long, you're completely working against yourself. Okay. So think through what it is that you're doing. It's better to put out one piece of content a week that people respond to than to put out 50 pieces of content or 15 pieces of content over the course of a week that nobody's watching. Okay. Next up on our list here, we have Bulldog01234 is the channel name. They upload every other day. They've been on YouTube for less than a month. My channel, let's see here. The goal of the channel is I don't really have a goal. I've been wanting to do YouTube since I was in 4th grade, and after 5 or 6 years, I started it. But if I were to have a goal, it's to keep uploading more and making my subscribers happy. That's cool. Make sure you're keeping yourself happy too, because you don't want to be a slave to the subscribers, so to speak. But you do want to make sure that what you want and what you are interested in is in alignment with what it is that your subscribers are wanting from you as well. But you don't want to bend yourself for the sake of pleasing the subscriber base, so to speak, in terms of like, I'm doing everything to make my subscribers happy. Like, add value, and that's enough. When you screen record a video, the sound in the background, how do they take that out? And also, what is the best editing app for iOS? So best editing app for iOS, in my opinion, is Video Leap. That's what I use for my Instagram stories and for YouTube stories when I'm editing stuff, putting text on them real quick. Super intuitive, super easy to use. In terms of the screen recording, taking the sound out of the background, for that, you can use things, if you're on a computer, you could use something like Adobe Audition or Audacity. If you're going to completely remove it, then you can bring it into Video Leap and you can actually just mute the background. And then it won't put that audio out. So the workaround would be mute the background, export it, bring it back in, and then if you're going to do any voiceover stuff on top of it, then you would do it. There. Next question that we have on the list is the M family. They've been on YouTube less than 6 months. They upload 1 time per week or more. Family channel. The goal of the channel is to share experiences. And the question is, my channel's only a month old. I have 7 uploads as of now and over 2.2 thousand views, but my subscriber count is only 54. To me, this seems low compared to the views I'm getting. Do you think there's any reason as to why this might be the case? You're uploading to share experiences, and people are responding based on the value that they get out of your content and their desire to want to see more of your content. So what that means is, if you think that that's low, first, it's important to just know that different channels have different view to subscriber ratios and things like that. So you might actually be okay with your type of content, but you of course want to increase that for sure. But 2,000 views, 54 subscribers out of it, you're actually not doing that bad. But if you did want to increase it, then you just have to look at your stuff. And if you're just documenting your family, then you have to think, okay, what is it that other people are getting out of this? Because we're doing it for the documentation, but if somebody's watching this, what is it that they are also getting out of it? Before and after the mix, what's up, man? Says, been content creator for about 4 months now, already feeling like I need to change things up. I grew kind of fast, but now I'm feeling lost. So what you want to do before and after the mix is you want to go into the content that worked for you, the content that helped you grow. Go into that content and figure out why. Look at the stats, look at how people responded to different things in the video, and try to figure out why it is that people responded the way that they did. You're gonna have to make theories, and then you test those theories by uploading new content with those theories applied, and then you will start finding a pattern of, okay, when I do this, people seem to like it, YouTube seems to show it more, people seem to subscribe to it more, things like that, and then that tells you, hey, I need to make more of this type of content, because the people that YouTube is showing my content to, they respond to it done in this particular way, or these topics, or whatever it happens to be. Mikey SC, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Damian Mai, what's up? Says how to get more subscribers. Add value. Add value. Make it to where when people are watching your videos, they get something out of it. So here's what I'm going to start doing. Give me a hashtag yes or a hashtag no if you want me to do it this way. So I've got the form here. So I'm going to answer a question. I'll probably give those a little bit longer answers out of the form, and then I'll do a quick one out of the chat. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back and forth here for the rest of the stream. So give me a hashtag yes if that sounds like a good idea to you. Hashtag no if you prefer I didn't. Okay. Apple O. Hey. Okay, next up on our list, we have Purpose Driven is the name of the channel. They upload every other day. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They are doing reaction videos and vlogs. And okay, so it looks like we've got a lot of yeses in here. Okay, cool. So then after I'm done with this one, go ahead and if you have a question, just start putting them in. As I'm finishing this question, as I'm finishing the answer up, then start putting it in because there's a little bit of a delay here. Says, I want my voice to inspire and motivate. This is the goal. I want my voice to inspire, motivate, and reach out to as many people as possible, help others find their purpose. The question is, what's the best way to grow a channel, gain subscribers, more comments, better watch time? What should I be focusing on most? What you should be focusing on most is finding the holes in what you're doing. So find the things that work, find the things that aren't working, and learn the skills that you need in order to make sure that you're fixing those things. So as an example, if people are not clicking on your thumbnails and titles, it's the very first point of contact. They have to. Nothing else will happen on your YouTube channel if you can't get people to click your thumbnails and titles. So at the very top of the list, you got to learn how to make effective headlines. Go and start reading articles and writing and watching videos on how to write effective headlines, or writing headlines or video titles that people click. Also on how to make thumbnails that people click, graphic design, colors that pull attention, that sort of thing. Start watching and consuming content on that, because that's step number one. You got to get people to click. If you're getting people to click, but they're not watching your videos, and you use your stats and you find out that in your audience retention, people just aren't watching your videos for a fair amount of time, then what that tells you is that you're getting people to click, but they're not digging the video content. So because of that, you have to start at the very front of your video. Right when your video opens, what happens? Are people responding? Yes or no? Go in 5 seconds. Are people still paying attention? Yes or no? Are they leaving a lot? Yes or no? If the answer is they're leaving, then you got to figure out why. And the next video you publish, you got to start running some experiments on doing different things there. Go 5 more seconds in. Are people still sticking around? Yes or no? If they're leaving, why? And you just start working through it that way, and you just do that over and over and over again. Now, keep in mind, you might get lazy. You might find a comfortable place with your content where you're like, you know what? My audience retention, it's typically around this, and it's typically around this, and people respond to it. YouTube shows it to enough people to keep me satisfied with the view counts I'm getting based on the goals that I have for the channel. Every video doesn't have to be just a stellar viral hit. So because of that, I just put out this comfortable content that keeps me going. The content that I spend a little bit of extra time on, those videos pop and they cause a surge in the activity on the channel. And then I get back into my comfortable zone based on the amount of time that I have mixing my job with my YouTube channel, with my family, with my kids, with my hobbies and all that other stuff. So, you'll find that too. But that all comes down to, all of our different, approaches for doing things. Okay. In the chat, what do we got here? Let's see here. Keep making quality content that your viewers like to watch is Tim Janss's, but that was a statement more than a question. So Potato Mustache, love the channel name, by the way. Potato Mustache says that, how do you make YouTube suggest your videos? I'm having trouble with that. So in order to get YouTube to suggest your content more, again, it comes down to getting people to click on your thumbnails and titles and then watching your video for a fair amount of time. What YouTube is trying to do is YouTube is trying to accumulate as much watch time per impression as possible for every feature. So if you are trying to rank videos in search, then how much watch time per impression that you're getting from each search query is going to define if your video is going to stay in that spot or not. How much watch time that you're generating per impression on home pages is going to dictate how often YouTube shows your content to somebody on their homepage. How much watch time you generate per impression next to a particular video on YouTube is going to determine, next to the other videos that you're competing against, it's going to determine if you stay in those spots or not. So because of that, you have to get really good. And I know that this sounds like, how many times can Nick say, get people to click, get people to watch, get people to engage? But that's what it comes down to. So that's why it's so important. Like, they give us this entire stats panel, right? Our analytics, to where we can go in and we can spend time learning how people respond to different aspects of what it is that we're doing. If you do that and you go in and you take the information that you're seeing and you're like, okay, this is what YouTube is telling me when they show content to people. This is how they respond. How can I make each aspect of this better? And you just keep working on that. That's why typically it takes a while for channels to get momentum, because they have a bunch of concepts that you have to understand when you first start a channel and you're just coming into this world fresh. Like, there's a lot of concepts that you have to find out that you need to know first, and then you got to figure those concepts out to where you understand them in terms of just niching down to content, the importance of having a niche channel, that kind of stuff. And then you have the skill sets around all the different features of YouTube that you have to make sure that you're tapping into. And then you have to get the audience to respond well to what it is that you're doing also. So like you have all of these things within all of that that you have to get good at in order to like really get some serious momentum going. And that's why it can take a while for a content creator when they first come onto YouTube. If you haven't made videos before, you haven't made thumbnails before, you haven't written titles for anything before to try to capture somebody's attention, like when you first come onto YouTube, like the odds are against you. So because of that, there's a lot of work that you have to do in order to shift the odds into your favor to where you're like, okay, every video that I put out, I know that if I just keep doing these specific things over and over again, that my channel will succeed. It becomes a formula. Once you understand all those things and you develop all the skills, it becomes a formula that you just follow. And you're like, okay, well, as long as I do this and I do this and I do this and I just keep doing it, then people are going to come in, they're going to watch my videos, they're going to be active in what it is that I'm doing, they're going to share my content, they're going to get value from my stuff, which means they're going to subscribe. My channel will grow as long as I keep doing those things. So you have to go through those processes in order to grow your channel, gain subscribers, get more comments, better watch time, and all of that. So focus on your stats, how people are responding to what it is that you're doing, and skill development. Focus on those things, and you'll do okay. But audience is also a part of that. Skill development is also understanding who it is that you're making videos for so that you can cater what it is that you're doing for them. Toting Games. What's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Says, I've been YouTubing for 4 years ago. I restarted my channel. Nothing different due to sub to sub. Was this a good idea? I began YouTubing 4 years ago. I restarted my channel, nothing different due to, oh, okay. So you just started a new channel because you did sub for sub on the other channel. It worked out against you. Was it a good idea? I think so, because now everybody that's subscribing to your channel is actually interested in what it is that you're doing. They didn't just subscribe in hopes of getting something out of it for selfish reasons. They subscribed because, I mean, everybody subscribes for selfish reasons, I guess. It's just a different thing that you get out of it. But on the sub for sub thing though, like when people subscribe for that, like they're subscribing just because they're hoping to get a subscribe. They're not subscribing because they actually get something from your content itself. And which means when your content gets presented to them on the platform, they don't respond to it. They don't click on it because they don't care about what it is that you're doing. So yeah, I think that was a good move to start fresh. Let's see here. Next up on the list, we have Dr. Gameplay. Hold on, did I answer purpose driven yet? Let me go here. Best way to grow. Yeah, I did. Okay. So next up on our list, we have Dr. Gameplay, walkthroughs, and more. Says they upload daily content. They have a mobile gaming channel. Goal of the channel is ever since I discovered YouTube, I wanted to be a YouTuber. Don't know why. Yeah, it's a thing. The question is sub for sub worth it to gain an initial boost? Absolutely not under any circumstance. So when it comes to sub for sub, you do not want to do sub for sub. And the reason for that is because if you are doing sub for sub, then what's going to happen is you're going to keep putting your content out in front of people that don't care about that content. Instead, they just care about getting something in return in terms of a subscribe. When your content's presented to them on YouTube, they're not going to click on it, which means that it's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. Bushcraft Twins says, can you take a look, any tips? Hold on. Can you take a look, any tips to get better titles? So I'm not going to look at your channel, but in terms of tips to make better titles, think of the source that you're targeting, think of the people that you're targeting. And what I mean by that is when you're writing your titles, use language and points of interest that the person or group of people that you're trying to reach is interested in or likely to respond to based on your understanding of the people that you're trying to reach. In terms of what you're trying to target, what I mean by that is if you're trying to rank your videos for search, you might take a different approach than if you're trying to get your videos to get a response on out of suggested videos, for example. So because of that, it's important to make sure that when you're writing your titles, that if you're going for search as an example, and I talked about this in detail before, but if you, no, I keep my place, Heidi, I keep my place like super air conditioned. So it's actually chilly in here. So I'm all right. but basically like, when it comes to writing your titles though, like if you're going for search, then in that situation, of course, you're going to put your keyword phrase in there. You're going to put your compelling element, and then it's pretty much good to go. But if you are going for recommendation features, then you have to be very specific of the language that you're using, the actual position of where your words are in your title, because they need to be the thing that's going to grab their attention the most when people are just looking around, comprehending what's on the page or in their feed when they're sitting there flipping through on their phone. Like being able to grab their attention, because English language reads from left to right. So if you're making English titles, you need to make that thing that people are going to resonate with, or the thing that will make the most sense or be of the most interest to the people that are being presented your content. That needs to be as close to the front as possible. And the reason for that is because we read from left to right. So if a title's presented and we're just in comprehension mode and our eyes are scanning, we're going like this, right? So as we're flipping through on a phone, then that title, the thumbnail, of course, is going to grab attention. But then if they go down to the title, you want that within the first like couple of words, you want the thing that you're trying to connect with that potential viewer, you want that to be visible right, like as soon as humanly possible. So an example that I give for this, that I actually have in the course, by the way, I have a course coming out soon. It's a joint course with TubeBuddy. I have a link to the notification thing down in the description below. I talk about titles and thumbnails and all that stuff and all this stuff in depth. But basically, there's a waiting list for that down in the description. So if you are interested in that, go ahead and put your information down in there so that you can be notified when we go into beta, because that's going to be happening really soon. Like I'm right on the edge of wrapping it up. But basically, when it comes to your titles, though, like an example of this, and I'll just do it around the MacBook, because I just picked one of those up. So basically, like when I'm looking around YouTube for MacBook stuff, if there's a title that says like 8 features that every person would love about the MacBook Pro, the very last word on that list is MacBook Pro. And if I just got a MacBook Pro, I'm looking around for information on MacBook Pro, and that gets presented to me on YouTube, through comprehension, I might not even see that MacBook Pro at the very end of the title, or it might get truncated if the title's too long, which means it's going to get cut off by YouTube. So the thing that I'm the most interested in, I might not even see, right? But if I change that to 8 MacBook Pro features that every new user, because that would be my audience identifier, every new Mac user needs to know, then in that situation, right out of the gate, 8 MacBook Pro features. MacBook Pro, that's something I'm interested in right now. So when I see that, it's like, oh, MacBook Pro features that every new user, oh, I'm a new user, and totally clicking on this, right? So basically what you're doing in that situation is you're building the title around, even though that one isn't optimized for, actually technically that one is optimized for search because it'd be like MacBook Pro features, but that one's more for home pages than it is for search. But what you're doing in that situation is you're saying, okay, by just rearranging some words in my title, I'm basically making it to where the thing that is most important to the people that are looking for the type of content that I am putting out there, it's towards the front of the title so that they'll see it quicker and that it might trigger them quicker. And I'm also putting the identifier in there for the audience. Like you'll see on my videos, if you look at my stuff, right, you'll see that I'm like YouTubers is all over my titles. Because if you're a YouTuber, which you are, if you're a YouTuber, then I want you to see that and know that that video is made for you. Right? So my audience identifier that I'm using all the time in my thumbnails, not every video, or in my videos, not every video, but most videos, it's either YouTuber or new YouTuber, or all YouTubers, right? Depending on what it is that I'm going after with that video. So, it's really important to make sure that you're structuring things in a way and that you're thinking through your titles. Like when somebody sees this and they read through this title, if they read it or if they're just in comprehension mode, like what's the first thing that they're going to get out of this, and what's the thing that might grab their attention the most out of this title? And then of course you got to think of that overall packaging too, with the thumbnail and the title. How are they working together to tell a story about what this video is about and how it will be important to the person that YouTube is showing it to? All right. So with all of that, I want to thank everybody for hanging out in the live stream today. Really quick, Divide and Conquer just dropped a super chat, so I'm going to answer this one real quick. Says, so I haven't updated in about 2 weeks. Should I just start a new channel or try to bring my old one back to life? Oh, 2 years. What would be the best way to do that? Your call. That really comes down to like a branding decision. And if you like want to maintain the old channel or if you want to start fresh, that comes down to a preference. Like if you already have an audience on the other one, some of those people will get the notification. And as long as there's still activity on your channel, then you might still even be recent in the viewer histories of people. Like I have a channel that I haven't uploaded to in like 3 years or 4 years, but it's got like 15,000 subscribers on it. I still get like several thousand views over there per month, which means that I'm active or I'm in recent user history. So if I published a video, it would show up in front of in front of a decent amount of people. So because of that, if I was going to relaunch that channel instead of starting from scratch, I would just go back into that channel. So as long as the content is still good for the audience you're trying to reach, I would try it on the old channel first. But just make sure that you're thinking of, okay, I'm relaunching. The people that I'm trying to reach here, come into it with an approach, right? The people I'm trying to reach here, how am I going to get those people to respond to what it is that I'm doing? And the unconfirmed session says, so glad I subscribed to your channel. I've learned so much. Your videos have been extremely helpful. I'm still in development stage and getting everything ready. Awesome. Welcome to being a creator. So just as a heads up, and I'll rant on this one for a second before we call it a stream. But basically, like when it comes to like just coming into like the creator world, one, just be patient because there's a ton of stuff to learn. Like you're in development right now, so like you're already seeing that. But when it comes to being a content creator, like welcome to the side of like just like sitting there for hours looking at your phone and like answering comments and like looking in your stats all the time and like waking up. Like when I publish a video, let me know. Just give me a hashtag me if you do this. Give me a hashtag me. If like when you wake up, let's say you published a video today or tonight, right? Let's say you publish a video tonight or sometime today, and you have a particular cycle that you go through to where you're like, typically I'll get about this many views on a video in this amount of time, to where you go to sleep and you wake up and one of the first things you do is, let me hop in my creator studio real quick and see how many views that video has. Give me a hashtag or give me a hashtag me if that's you. Yeah, I do that still. I'll wake up and I'll be like, hey, I wonder how that video is doing, and I'll check in on it. So yeah, welcome to that life of like, always checking on that kind of stuff and watching filmmaking content and YouTube help content and all that stuff. Like it's awesome, absolutely awesome, and it's just an awesome community too. Like one thing that you'll find on YouTube that you don't find in other industries, at least I didn't, because I've done tons of stuff. The community here, in terms of just other content creators, I think it's just because everybody's like creative people and they're people that take risks and things like that. That's why you're on YouTube, or that's what allowed you to be on YouTube. But I like the people around YouTube in terms of the content creators. It's just an awesome group of people, because everybody's just doing their thing and everybody's like putting out things that they're like passionate about or that they care about, and because of that, like any interaction that you have, it's like always positive. It's just an awesome community. So welcome to the creator community. Raphael Epic Cardboard Prop says, because of all the COVID stuff, all my stats have quadrupled, and I make 700 subs a day. Crazy. Any tips to maximize this situation? Absolutely, dude. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have series playlists put together for the different types of content that you have. And the reason that you want to make sure you have series playlists, not just playlists, but you actually mark them as a series and you organize your content into series, if you don't have this already, is because as people are getting recommended your content and all these people are flooding into your channel, when you have your content that is marked as series playlists and you have it organized to where, hey, if somebody watches this video, they're likely to watch these other videos in this playlist, then what you're doing is, YouTube specifically says that when you mark a playlist as a series playlist, that they're more likely to show the other videos in that playlist recommend next to the video that the viewer is currently watching. So let's say you have 5 videos, or let's say you have 3 videos in that series playlist. That means if they're watching video A, that video B and C are more likely to be recommended or be the next up video. If they are watching video B, then A or C might be recommended. But basically, you're increasing the likelihood of YouTube showing your content next to each other. And when that happens and you initially do that, especially if you go from none to all of a sudden you have a decent amount of series and people are responding to them, then what you're going to see is all of a sudden you're going to fill up your own suggested area for those videos. And if people start responding to them, then you'll start noticing, you'll start getting tons more suggested traffic just from you being in that your own next up spot. Because as you put those series playlists together, people started watching videos together, and YouTube will show content together that people watch together. Then because you kind of, I won't say force that relationship, but because you made that relationship possible by putting them together in a series and recommending them, and driving people into those playlists, which I'll talk about in a second too, then what you've done is you've made it more likely that YouTube is actually going to recommend your content, your own content, in the suggested column next to the other videos that they're watching. Now, another thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that in your end screens that you have a best for viewer spot, and then you also have a spot, because I know this is content you already have up, so you want to make sure that another one of those spots is a driving traffic into a series playlist that you create as well, because that's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to basically get as many people as possible to go from the video that they're currently watching into the series playlist to watch other videos in that series playlist, so that YouTube can identify that people are satisfied with this content. They end up watching more like this, they go into this playlist and then they watch this video and then they watch this video and then they watch this video, which then increases the likelihood of YouTube suggesting all of that stuff next to each other, which can help you turn yourself into a very strong suggested traffic source. Also, if you haven't yet, make sure that you go and you go back through all of your content and pin a comment with a recommended video or playlist as well. Level that up by pinning a playlist. Give a reason, right? Basically, just all you do is write a comment, give a reason that they should watch that other playlist. Like, hey, this is how you make a Transformer helmet. If you want to see how to make a Star Wars helmet, then, I have a whole playlist of those videos here. And you basically are making it easier for people to find that content that they're likely to be interested in. And you link to that playlist, and then you pin it to the top of your comment section by clicking on the three dot menu over on the side. And what you're doing by basically doing all of these things is you are basically just increasing the likelihood. You're making it easier for people to find content that they care about. And two, you're making it easier for people to jump from video to video, which then in turn shows YouTube that people they typically are watching these videos together at scale, which then will help YouTube start recommending your own content to the people that are already watching your stuff. So hopefully that helped. Should all of your playlists be series playlists? So Karma Cash Flow, when it comes to series playlists, each video can only be in one series playlist, but every video can be in as many playlists as possible and can bind with videos from other channels. So a series playlist can only contain your own videos. So because of that, you want to basically build series playlists, but you want to do it intentionally. So like in the case of Raphael, if he hasn't done that already and he wasn't intentional about it, now he's going in and he's kind of going in repair mode. Like, I've got all this activity, and I have a video that you should watch, Raphael, also, Epic Cardboard Props, and anybody that's having that surge right now. I have a video on my channel about the title something like, are you prepared to go viral, or are you ready to go viral? And what I talk about there is also setting up your actual channel page so that with a surge in traffic that you can capitalize on all that traffic coming in, make it easier for people to find more content on your channel and stuff. So make sure you go and watch that video if you haven't yet. But basically, if every video should be or every playlist should be a series, you want to organize your content in a way that makes it easier for viewers to consume more of it. Having thought out series in terms of, I'm going to build a series on, like in your case, I'm going to do a 5-part series, or I'm just going to do a 5-video series, not a 5-part. I'm just going to do a series on doing something with Amazon because it's passive, right? So I'm going to do a video on doing, or 5 videos on doing something with Amazon. All 5 of those videos are made for the purpose of putting into a series playlist that I'm constantly going to be driving people to. I'm going to put that series playlist on my channel page. I'm going to put that series playlist in these specific videos in their end screens. And then let's say you have another video or another group of 3 or 5 videos, and you're like, I'm going to put these into a series playlist on affiliate marketing on a specific thing. Then in that situation, then the same exact thing happens to where you basically put those videos in that series and then you drive traffic into that series. And you put that series in your playlist. So what you're doing is you're basically putting series playlists on your channel page that are of interest to the people that are watching your stuff so that they're likely to watch those videos together. And then as you recommend them, then people are likely to watch those together also. So absolutely you should make series, but every playlist shouldn't be a series. So You should also do playlists once you start finding that, hey, you know, people typically are enjoying this video, or I put out this video and it's in this series playlist, or I put out this video and it's in this series playlist. But I would really love to make a playlist where these videos are also in a playlist together. You can do that. They just can't be in another series playlist. So then you can take some of those videos that are in separate series playlists. Like as an example, you could do ways to make money on Amazon. And with making money on Amazon, you have like FBA, you have affiliate, you have merch, that kind of stuff. Even though those might be in their own series, you could pull all those together into a normal playlist because you wouldn't be able to make that a series playlist because some of those videos are already in the series. So you'd pull all those into a playlist, and then you would package that one on how to make money on Amazon. So hopefully that answers your question there. Okay, so everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. Awesome stream today. This one went by really, really fast. But thanks for hanging out today. Hope you got tons of value here. Hope you enjoyed the guests. Again, make sure you check out Brian G. Johnson. I got a link to him down in the description. The other guy that was on here, Owen Video. If you just look for Owen, O-W-E-N Video, then his YouTube channel will pop up. Make sure you go check him out. Subscribe to him because he also does stuff for content creators. His is more around like the business side of YouTube. Like if you're into like marketing and that kind of stuff, you'll want to check him out for sure. So definitely make sure you check him out. Brian G. Johnson, he does YouTube stuff and just YouTube stuff like in general. So if you're watching my videos, Brian G is a perfect fit for you. So go over there and check him out as well. So thank you everybody again so much for hanging out. Hey, D Nimmin in the house. What's up, D? Hope that you are doing well in Mexico. Getting ready to shut her down. So again, thank you everybody for hanging out, and I will see you next time. Again, just one thing really quick. If you haven't installed TubeBuddy yet, TubeBuddy is a browser plugin that will help you with your YouTube channel. You can install it. There's a link at the very top of this chat right now. Go install it now if you haven't yet. And I've also got a bunch of stuff down in the description for you too, links to my podcast and a bunch of other stuff for content creators as well. So make sure you check that out if you haven't yet. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I hope that you have an awesome rest of your week, and I will see you next Saturday.